Do one, go. It's going. I think. Didn't actually check to see if my mic was working. Probably
Oh
should have
boy.
done.
I hear you at least.
Okay, just check it. Okay, so that's probably enough vamping. So now comes the part of the program where I say, "Hi, I'm Trevor, and welcome to Catching Up on Cinema." Now, if you aren't familiar with the program, Catching Up on Cinema is a film analysis podcast where we introduce each other to films, expand our cinematic horizons, and, in essence, catch up on our cinema. So, it is the month of August 2025, and is once again that very special time of the month wherein we do our very special Tales from the Shelf episode. And in joining me in this endeavor, I have my good buddy Brad from the Cinema Speak podcast. How's it going, Brad?
Well, Trevor, it's going great for me, but it's going even better now because we are recording. I'm hanging out with you. We're talking Blu-rays. We're both having some coffee. What could be better? What could be better?
Yeah, I can't think of a better way to spend a Wednesday evening. I'm losing track of my days here. It shows how busy it is in my neck of the woods, but as tends to be the case here at Catching Up on Cinema and on Tales from the Shelf, the way we like to go about things during our discussion here is we like to have a unifying theme to guide the discussion, and I believe it was Brad who came up with this month's theme, and we're calling this installment "Thick and Meaty." Thick with three C's, Brad. Probably, yeah. I probably should have spelt it correctly by the standards of 2025. Thick and meaty. What we're going to be talking about in reference to our movie collections are the longest films in our respective movie collections. As you may have noticed in the background of our respective webcam feeds, both Brad and I own quite a lot of DVDs, Blu-ray, and 4K discs, and that's what we're going to be talking about here today. More specifically, the longest, if not most of the longer movies in our collections. My pulling of titles was a lot less precise than Brad's. In your case, you made use of a really handy collector's tool, right? In order to like order up your selections.
Yeah, the Blu-ray.com app. I think it might technically be called the My Movies app, but it's through Blu-ray.com, and it's been a huge benefit for these Tales from the Shelves episodes. Tales from the Shelves episodes.
I mean, it's plural. There are two shelves that we're talking about.
I think you should definitely check this out and download it, Trevor, because I think it's a big help because I can do it while I'm away. If we're out, if you're in court and we're talking, you're texting me about what our theme is going to be, you can just pull up the app and you don't need to run home and check real quick. It's real easy stuff.
Yeah, next month you're going to be on the altar getting hitched, getting married, and I'm going to be texting you, "What's the theme this month?" Help me out, bud. What are we doing for the theme this month?
Yeah, there's only like a half hour where I will have like no phone available. I mean, before and after, I'll be all set. We can come up with theme ideas then.
You're gonna poop at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope. I hope. Yeah, that could be a problem. Make sure to take care of that first thing in the morning. Drink your coffee, bud. So anyway, as is customary, I'm going to do my hosting duty here and ask, "Hey, Brad, how about you be the first one to share your first thick and meaty title?" And I believe your plan at the outset here was to share the longest movie in your collection. Is that right?
Yes, the longest, but I will say it is the longest theatrical release because I do have a few extended cuts that would go longer than this one. But if we're talking movie that came out theatrically, this would be the longest one, I think, as long as my app is correct. And I will say, it should be obvious, but obviously I didn't include TV shows or anything like that, because technically, according to the Blu-ray.com app, those ones do have the longest runtime because it counts all the episodes. But
no, we're going by feature.
Yes,
like feature length presentation of some sort.
Catching up on cinema.
Yeah, we've done TV before, but today we're not talking about that. But yeah, and as I disclosed at the top of this, my picks are mostly just like picked based on intuition and a quick glance at the back of the box in order to examine the runtime. So I'll try my best to match you beat for beat. But if I end up throwing like a 160 minute something or other out there right after you drop like a 480 minute bomb or something. Don't be surprised.
Nothing quite like that, no. And this first one, I always forget what we talk about when we do these. I
Yeah.
feel like I did just recently talk to you about this, so this might be a recent repeat. But whatever, we'll talk about it more specifically about the length of the movie. It is a recent release. I've only seen it the one time. But I have here clocking in at 215 minutes. I have The Brutalist.
Oh, yeah. You brought that one up, I think, last month. And hey, you want to flip that cam feed?
Yeah, where are we at here? I go to camera. Nope,
So,
that's wrong.
dear listeners and hopefully viewers, we discovered a phenomenon here on the show, I think just last month, that Mirror Universe Brad is just on the internet anyway, the more appealing Brad. Like we just discovered this, that like we both of us, he and I both, we prefer flipped Brad. So
Yeah.
by default, his webcam feed is mirrored, but for the purposes of exhibiting titles and stuff, we'll try our best to
I
flip it.
I think it's because I style my hair in one direction.
Mm,
So I think by seeing me in the non-mirrored camera, the hair is now going in the wrong direction, and that really throws you off.
yeah,
Um,
I don't really
but
have a choice. My hair goes down to my nips, goes down to my nipples, and basically it goes back or it just goes everywhere.
hey, I mean that looks good, mirrored or non-mirrored. So you're good there.
Rocking the Steven Seagal.
Yeah. But yeah, The Brutalist, I saw this in theaters last year, absolutely loved it. Loved the intermission that happened in the film. I thought that was a just a cool, experience, cool touch. And well, I'm sure we'll talk about this more with other releases, but the problem with these long movies is that we got a lot of postcards in here. Holy cow, holy crow, we got a lot of postcards.
Ooh.
It's not often that you sit down and revisit these. But this one I did really like, and I liked the here, I'm coming back. I did like the just direction, filmed in VistaVision. Performances I thought were great. Adrian Brody, he gave the most pretentious Oscar speech of all time, but I thought he was amazing in this. And yeah, just a typical thing to say. I'm not the first one to say this, but really, truly does feel like a great sort of American epic, especially because it is a film that is in some ways explicitly, in some ways implicitly about America and its ideals and how great it can be potentially and how devastating it can also be. And I think there's a lot to chew on here. And yeah, just a gorgeous looking movie. And this one, it's actually I believe my first one of these really unique A24 releases.
Yeah,
I've got
I've never seen a box like that before.
yeah, I don't know. I think they started doing it uh when they were kind of like only in recent years, where they sort of like had their own sort of style, kind of going for a little bit of a curation, like a Criterion sort of a thing, trying to get you to group all your A24 releases together, that kind of thing.
Numbered spines.
Yeah. Are they numbered? They are not numbered. Thank goodness.
Okay,
Thank
yeah, that would
goodness.
be a problem.
Um, But yeah, I do think this is a nice looking set. The one thing that is a little annoying with the set is that not this set specifically, but some of the A24s are exclusive to their website. And
Mm.
yeah, I actually didn't know that. I actually bought this one on Amazon recently. I didn't know that. I kind of thought all these unique A24 Blu-rays were site exclusives, but not all of them are. Some of them you kind of get on Amazon. I don't know if it's like the bigger releases they release into the wild, and then maybe some of their smaller films they just keep exclusive on their site. I don't know. Um, but yeah, overall, Brutalist is awesome, and opening titles. Oh my gosh, the opening credits of this movie are amazing. I might just, it's a long movie, but I might just pop on the first, 10, 15 minutes just to watch those opening titles again cuz that was kind of life-changing when I saw that in theaters. I said, "Whoa. we are. I'm going to be a different person when this movie is over, and I think I was. I really think I was.
Wow. Yeah, so this is not the first time that Brad has brought this movie up, but I'm always thrilled to hear about it just because I personally haven't seen it yet. But mostly from you, I've just been hearing how excellent it is. Of course, I heard all the Oscar buzz and controversy and stuff, so I'm aware of all that business. But having not seen it myself, it's now become like a little bit of a white whale of sorts, where it's like I should probably get on that because Brad
Mhm.
seems to love it, and Brad very seldom leads me astray when it comes to quality movies. And um, I think you mentioned the score was quite excellent for this
Oh
movie.
yeah.
Do you happen to know like composer for this one?
It's. I think it was somebody I wasn't super familiar with.
And also,
Um,
just because I haven't seen it, what's the style of music in it? Because I actually I have no conception in my head of like what the soundscape in the movie would be like, just based on the imagery. You know,
it's got kind of a classic score.
great,
It's
yeah,
yeah.
dig it.
Daniel Bloomberg
Daniel
is the guy's
Bloomberg,
name.
not familiar to me.
Yeah, the name's not ringing any bells. Let's see. Yeah, he's uh he's an up and comer.
Okay, so he's
He
kind of new to the scene. Very
yeah,
cool.
he did I think looks like maybe one movie before The Brutalist.
Awesome. We love
So,
that. No, we,
yeah.
we love to see stuff like that. We love to see, some of the upstarts arrive. Like I forget the name of the woman who did the score for Joker, but like say what you will about the movie, it's not my favorite movie in the world, but the cello in that movie, the score for that
Mm,
movie is quite beautiful. And
it is a really
I
good
don't
score.
think she has too many credits under her belt.
Um
Um
I will mention I do remember now. He is a former you know, rock musician, I guess. He was in a band called Yuck, 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 and I remember liking. To be fair, I think I only heard one or two songs from them when they were first hit the scene, but I remember really liking the song "Milkshake" by Yuck. And I remember this was back when I was still, purchasing CDs. And I remember one year for Christmas, my Christmas list, I put a couple CDs on there, and I put the album "Yuck" by Yuck on my Christmas list. And my mom was like, "What the heck was that?"
I mean, you got to do that to your parents every once in a while.
Yeah,
Just let them know,
yeah,
like, this is what the kids are up to, by the way.
right. This is
They're
a
listening to
cool
Yuck.
hip new band, Yuck. So. But yeah, The Brutalist, definitely check it out. It's a great film shot in VistaVision, which is kind of
Mhm.
making a comeback. Because I believe the new Yorgos movie, some of it shot in VistaVision. I think PTA's new movie shot in VistaVision. We're back, baby. VistaVision took a few decades off, but it is back.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, trends in cinema and in like all shapes and forms are fascinating to me. Like, just trends in general are something that fascinates me, and I have to imagine you too, Brad. Many years ago, I think. Well, I don't know how many years ago, but we definitely talked about it, or at least I remember talking about it with you here on Tales from the Shelf. Um, we were talking about, or at least I was, the trend of aspect ratios being kind of a thing that a lot of mainstream filmmakers were starting to experiment with, like either changing aspect ratios mid film, using making use of aspect ratios in a Wes Anderson sort of way to
Hmm.
convey certain feeling or character to a composition. And we certainly did see a bit of a trend of that. It wasn't like a huge one, but we definitely saw a bit of a movement with that. And I'm curious if like now we're moving into like media sources and film stocks or something. Because I don't know how it was made, but the trailer for Darren Aronofsky's latest movie has a particular brand of grain to it that I'm curious what sort of equipment they shot it on.
Ooh, okay.
Like
Yeah.
I noticed it was very noticeable to me.
Hmm. Yeah, no, and that's interesting too because, well, I was gonna say that's something that's probably a lot less noticeable for the average moviegoer.
It's not as showy, no.
Yeah, but then I was thinking, to be honest, the average moviegoer doesn't even notice aspect ratios, so I take that back. They
Unless they're
literally.
watching Mission Impossible and Tom Cruise is opening a valve.
That is true. That is true. Everybody noticed that. Everybody that blew everybody's minds.
I didn't get to see that. I heard about it though. It was cited as like one of the cooler things they did. Although, like, I do know they did the same trick, kind of. Although, albeit not quite as noticeable or clever in Fallout, Mission Impossible Fallout, when the helicopter scene arrives. It arrives with a shift to IMAX, which I noticed that one. I got to witness that. That was cool.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like I saw they must have changed the aspect ratio in regular theaters too, because I do remember seeing that, unless I just saw the clip of it online.
Yeah, I'm actually not positive if it was the theater or just like Instagram or something, but
Yeah.
I definitely have like a visceral memory of that. Whereas the most recent Mission Impossible, no, I didn't get to see that one.
Yeah.
Saw the movie. That's a candidate for this very conversation. I don't remember how long that one was, but it was quite long.
It was long. I don't think it would make my cut. I think it was under 3 hours.
It was under 3, but it was like 250 or 245 at least. At least.
It was definitely meaty. It was definitely meaty.
It was meaty. Not sure on that thick.
Not quite thick enough.
Not sure if it was thick enough. So, I suppose it is my turn. How long, by the way, was the Brutalist? Did you say it was 200 or 210?
215, I believe. 215 minutes.
Quite nice. Quite nice.
Yes.
So well over 3 hours.
I assume including the intermission as well.
Oh, yeah. Have you had a chance to watch and verify that's still on the disc?
I have not. But if it's not, we're going to have some issues.
Then it would have to be 225 or something.
This will go down to a 4.5 if there's no intermission on this disc. I'm saying that right now.
I'll have to keep my eyes out on your Letterboxd. No intermission, minus 0.5 stars.
I don't see how they could not include it though. It actually serves the plot in a way, so I think they have to include it unless they shortened it. But I don't think they. I don't. Maybe they would shorten it, which I still wouldn't like. But
all right, so we'll transition from your longest movie to 215 minutes, folks. Quite thick, quite meaty. To my longest film, which is, drum roll please, 400 minutes long.
Holy crow!
So there's actually 2 of these, one of which a friend has been borrowing for like a decade or something. So I'll see them at my wedding next year. So maybe I'll have to like shake them by the collar and be like, hey, give me back my Blu-ray.
Bring that movie.
Bring the movie. Bring the movie or you're uninvited. So, I have here a 400-minute juggernaut of a documentary, which I will be upfront and say that I have a series of documentaries that could they could account for virtually every pick that I have tonight. It could well pan out that way. So just be ready for that. Anyway, I have here in my hand Crystal Lake Memories, a complete history of Friday the 13th, 2-disc collector's edition, the ultimate tribute to one of horror's most iconic and enduring franchises. I sound like the movie phone guy. So this is written and directed by Daniel Farrens and features Corey Feldman as the there's actually like interstitials between films, like between chapters of the documentary. But Corey Feldman actually appears on screen during those interstitials and serves as the narrator for the whole documentary, the whole 400-minute documentary. And this does live up to the claim of being the ultimate tribute. This, I believe, Brad, you have this book, correct?
I do, and I've read every single word.
Yeah, I have to imagine that they're a pair. Like they're probably cut from the same cloth, probably have some of the same people involved in their production. Haven't read the book, but I have watched this documentary an absurd number of times, actually. There was a spell where I was unemployed, and for some reason, this and the other Blu-ray that I don't have access to right now, that I wish I could check the runtime on, the Never Sleep Again, the Nightmare on Elm Street equivalent to this, the partner basically to this. I watched both of those documentaries a lot during that stretch of time. That and Californication for some reason. Don't ask why. But yeah, Crystal Lake Memories. They have a list of all the people involved, and part of the part of the charm of this is when it was made, because Friday the 13th is a franchise that is currently in hibernation. It's soon going to be coming out of hibernation, though. Like, as far as I understand, the floodgates are going to open, and we're going to probably get like a TV series. I have to assume another movie, probably a whole nother franchise, like a
Mm-hmm.
rebirth of the entire thing. But there has been like a quiet period, and it just so happened that this came out around the time of the Platinum Dunes Friday the 13th movie. And because of the timing, it hits that sweet spot where it's like, one, the franchise is in the midst of resurgence, but a very brief one that would result in a lull. But more important, everybody's still alive. Like, everybody's still around and still able to talk about the thing,
Right.
because it's so tragic how often that happens, where there is like a brilliant production that comes together that has all the enthusiasm in the world, but just does not have the access to the personalities that were involved in the thing, who have the first hand accounts of how it all went down. And this one is comprehensive to the point of including like the sleazy directors of some of the early sequels, who most of their filmographies are just softcore porn, as far as I know. And they clearly have no emotional investment in the franchise or their work on it, but they still show up and they
Mm-hmm.
still contribute their piece. This is a fantastic documentary. Can't recommend it enough. If you're at all invested in Friday the 13th, I'm not like a huge fan of Friday the 13th, but I do have a little bit of a affinity for the franchise, just for its sheer stupidity. Like, I get a cheap laugh out of these movies, and I can't quite explain why. Um, and honestly, probably most of my connection to these movies isn't through the movies themselves. It's probably largely through this documentary.
Yeah, I definitely have been meaning to watch that. It was the kind of thing where I was watching through the franchise. I think it was just last year, last Halloween. And while I was watching through the franchise, I was also reading the book. But then obviously, it's quicker to get through a few movies than read a long book. So
Mm-hmm.
finished the movies first, and I kept reading the book long after. I was probably a month or two after I'd finished the movies. I finally finished the book, and then by then I just hadn't gotten around to seeing the documentary. But I would like to check it out, and would be kind of interesting to see if like everybody essentially that is in the book participated in the documentary as well. Because yeah, the book was pretty comprehensive on having everybody that you could think would be uh, interviewed in any way for these movies is there. I mean, pretty much every director for every movie, all the main stars, they got everybody pretty much to join in. So it's solid.
Yeah, no, it's very impressive, just the sheer breadth of talent that they got to actually sit down and do an earnest interview with them.
Hmm.
And it's also fun to cap things off the way they did with mention of the new movie that I don't even know if it had even come out yet. They have an interview with Derek Mears. Brad, does that name mean anything to you?
No, I don't think so.
So, story time. My buddy, he was recently in town. Lifelong friend of mine, one of my very best friends. He introduced me to a website called Channel 101 back in the day, which I've talked about numerous times here on the show. I was based out of LA. I think Dan Harmon was like an administrator of it, and he made a lot of content for it. Um, Rob Schraub was also one of the big people that came out of that. Randall Park, I think, also came out of that. Like, a lot of talent came out of it. Anyway, it was a website and live screening like program where every month you would submit 5-minute pilots for internet shows, and this was pre-YouTube. And every month you would get to submit a 5-minute pilot for something, and if the live audience voted your show back, you got entitled to make a second episode, and you would just keep making episodes until you got canceled, air quotes. Anyway, Derek Mears, our nickname for him before I knew his name, me and my friend, was Bald Action Guy, because that's what he did on Channel
Yeah.
101. He showed up in a show called Time Belt, which Chris Tallman was the star of. Chris Tallman had a bit part on House, the TV show. I don't know if you know that show at all, but there was an episode where, spoilers, it was a dream, and he had a problem patient whose symptoms made no sense. And every time they tried to address something, some random symptom would manifest. Like his tongue is swollen. They try to like lance it, and his eyeball pops out of its socket, and none of it makes any sense. And then he gets wise to the fact, oh wait, I'm dreaming. Anyway, the guy with the swollen tongue whose eye pops out of its socket was from Channel 101. But anyway, Derek Mears, Bald Action Guy. That's what he would do on those web series shows. Is he would just show up. He was really big. He was bald. He was menacing. I didn't think he would go anywhere. He got to be Jason Voorhees. And he's done a lot of performance capture work in his career. He's done a lot of like work on video games and stuff. And to see him in the chair, I was like, Bald Action Guy is Jason? What? And by the way, connection to you, Brad, something that I haven't seen, but apparently I really need to get on, especially now that the creator has passed away. Twin Peaks: The Return. My friend, same friend, sent me a clip from that show, and Bald Action Guy was in it.
Really?
Yeah, it was evil Kyle MacLachlan like caved his face in.
Okay. Yep. I think
I was like, oh my god, Bald Action Guy worked with David Lynch. This guy's amazing.
Nice.
He had the most amazing. He's had the most amazing career. He's got to be Jason Voorhees. He got to work with David Lynch.
That's pretty good.
He was on the set of a Resident Evil production. That's amazing.
I got him pulled up here. He also lost an award to Heath Ledger for his portrayal of the Joker. He was nominated right alongside him, but he lost for MTV Movie Award for Best Villain of the Year for Jason Voorhees. So that's an honor right there.
I'm sure he cries himself to sleep every night about that. He's just like, my whole career, I got to work with Lynch. I was Jason Voorhees, but I just couldn't get that villain award.
couldn't quite get it.
Didn't quite get it. Didn't get that brass ring.
Pretty good one to lose to, though. That's all right. That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna lose to anybody, it's like we was beaten by the best. Son, shut up. We was beaten by the best. Anyway, 400 minutes of Friday the 13th. That is I believe, the longest thing I have on my shelf.
Well, on that note, there's one that I must have scrolled past because
what?
I actually do have a film longer than The Brutalist because I must have. I'll tell you. I'm not. My next pick, I thought was like, okay, that's the, or actually, well, it was The Brutalist. I saw The Brutalist in my app. And I said, okay, that's the starting point. And then I started going down because I scrolled past everything else thinking it was TV. I've got one movie that I must have thought it was TV in the app. And so I don't have it near me. So I'm going to go grab it. Okay. So I'm going to step off camera here. Okay. But I'm going to still be talking and yelling at you. Okay. Is that all right?
You're going to be yelling, or do you want me to do another pick?
Well, no. You can talk. I just got to step over here.
Okay. He's stepping over there, folks. Oh gosh. Oh darn. Okay. He's stepping over some obstacles. The thing is, see, folks, I've never seen Brad's whole office. Like, I've never seen his whole collection area. There could be boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff in there that he's like stepping and like crawling over. like he could be in a closet for all I know. Oh, whoa, he came out the other side.
We're back. That was a good bit, right? No, the reason
you made it. You survived.
The reason I especially wanted to grab this What do we got the runtime on this? Let me make sure this isn't actually short. Oh yeah, this is very long. Um, the reason I want to grab this actually has some connection to you, Trevor. This has some connection to you.
To me?
Because it was something that you actually gifted me, and so I was like, oh man, I gotta grab this off the shelf.
You really don't, but
Well, no, I do. But this is 342 minutes. So
Holy
excuse me for thinking it was a television show in the
excuse me.
Blu-ray.com app. I have In Search of Darkness Part 3. Oop, In Search of Darkness Part 3. Which
Flip it. Yeah.
there we go.
Ooh.
Which you were kind enough to gift me, and I thank you for that. And I still need to dig into that series. I don't know if you have pulled that one off for a pick of yours.
I absolutely have.
I assumed. Okay. Now I'm not even counting that as one of our matches because I missed that. Okay. All right. I predicted this is a little how the cow is milked, how the yogurt is made, or what do they say? How the how the cheese is churned.
The
Um
sausage is made.
how the sausage is made. I predicted that Trevor and I would have four matches today, four of the same pick. And I was not counting that one. So even though that is technically one, I'm not going to count it because I didn't pull it off. So that's not an official pick, but I wanted to say technically that is the longest movie in my collection. So next up, I'm going to go with this one. And this one, well, I'm going to save this one for later. This next one I have is, let's get into it. It's the Irishman.
Hey, that's one. That's 1 out of 4.
Oh, there we go. Boom. Ding, 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 ding. I don't even know if this was one I was predicting. I do really love The Irishman. Have not watched the Blu-ray yet. I only watched it when it was released on Netflix because it is long. But I got to say, for having watched it, what year did this come out? 2019? For having watched this 6 years ago, there are still scenes and moments that are just like ingrained in my mind. A lot of it towards the end of the movie, but and the de-aging, that first scene that doesn't look good, that's still ingrained in my mind, obviously. But
my co-host Kyle, he turned it off. He couldn't get through it the first 10 minutes.
I mean, am I crazy, or is it that is that scene the worst? I really do think
It
that
is.
first scene is the
It
worst.
really is. It could be something to do with the way it's lit. It could be somewhere like where it was positioned in post-production. Like maybe that was one of the earlier shots or something. Who knows? But it is inarguably, I want to say, the worst looking stuff in the whole movie. It gets better. Like you acclimate to it. I can vouch for that.
Yeah, and it might be a thing of you acclimate to it. I don't know, but no, I really do think The Irishman is a awesome, fantastic movie. Really interesting because there's a little bit of a meta element of Scorsese making gangster movies, and I certainly don't think any of his gangster movies. You could say there maybe are elements if you turn off the movie halfway that glamorize the mob lifestyle, but I think if you're intelligent enough or you think about what you're watching enough, by the end of the movie, I think it does not endorse any of the stuff going on. But this one, especially with the idea of the characters getting older and Scorsese getting older and the actors involved getting older, I do think having De Niro and Pesci and Pacino in here de-aged, I think it is. I still think it's the right choice. I think it adds something that having a different actor cast as their younger selves wouldn't have quite added. A little bit of a meta element of seeing them get older and get to their current state. But yeah, I think it's probably the best Netflix movie ever made. I mean, if one good thing came out of this Netflix experiment, it's probably this one. But yeah, I do love it. I will say, here, I'm gonna flip the camera one more time. We're gonna do one more time. I'll do this. We'll do it like that.
Whoa.
The cover of this thing. I don't know. This not
my
really
favorite.
like. I mean, is it? I can't remember. Is this a specific shot from the movie? It has to be, right?
Perhaps. I don't actually recall. I mean, I haven't seen it since 2019, but
Very strange.
not my favorite cover. Just the it's not even like impressionistic. It's just it's like appears to be a kind of like oil painting style
Mm-hmm.
that just stylistically isn't my favorite.
No, no. But yeah, great movie. I do wish this was a 4K release. I think that would have
I know, yeah, that stings a little.
really churned my butter over the top. Yeah, that's the one thing with these streaming releases, because generally, if I'm streaming at home, not always, but 1080p is usually always a pretty safe bet. But 4K nowadays, you got to pay extra for that too. But that's where you're really testing your bandwidth. So to have 4K on disc, that is a huge benefit. But yeah, this one, just knowing Scorsese and my love for Scorsese, I had to own it physically. I had to own it. I had to have it in my hand.
Well, for me personally, I it came out at a time when I didn't have access to Netflix. I didn't have a Netflix account until I got together with my fiance, which would have happened like late 2019, early 2020 or something.
Post
Um,
Irishman.
the post
That's how
Irishman years.
we can look at everything pre and post Irishman.
Yeah, I man,
Yeah.
pi man. So yeah, for me it was I blind bought it. Like I couldn't just turn on Netflix or whatever. It was just like, oh, I really want to see this movie because it's Martin Scorsese. It's him reuniting with a lot of actors who he has quite a lot of history with, um, and also working with some new people as well that are worth being excited about. So I was really hyped about it, and seems like the reception to it was a little bit mixed. Like there were a lot of people who the CGI de aging was a bridge too far. They just couldn't get around it. My buddy Kyle, for instance, he just didn't want to look at it. He likes to be immersed in a thing. Like he's a highly reactive person in the theater. Like I got to see Weapons in the theater with him, and I mentioned last time I talked to you, my fiance had some lovely reactions to some of the scares in that movie. He did too. In fact, he was texting me that night. He was like, "So like, there's some things that really freak me out about that movie."
Nice.
But when it comes to like for him, when it comes to like a cinematic experience, he does really well in the theater because you're deprived of other stimuli. There's no escape. It's just you in the
Mhm.
movie. He gets immersed. Um, Whereas something like The Irishman, watching it at home on Netflix, probably with a spotty connection or something, and then you look at that face and you're just like, I just couldn't get into that. I just couldn't get into it that much, to quote your buddy. Is
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
Charlie?
Yeah. That's Charlie. Yeah.
That's
That's Charlie.
Charlie.
Yep.
Yeah. I just couldn't get into it that much. And that was his reaction to it. And if he can't engage with the thing, if he can't meet it on its level, he bounces off of it. Whereas me, I gut it out. I can watch
Mhm.
anything. Like if I commit to watching something, if I'm going to give it my time, if I have the interest, it doesn't matter how bad or unengaging it is. I will just funnel it into my eyeballs and into my brain pan. But in the case of The Irishman, I reacted really well to it. I really enjoyed it. I got a lot of value out of it. Like you say, there's a lot of really memorable moments and images in that last section of the movie in particular. I get it though; it's a really long journey, and also the casting worked for me too. I found value in that because one, I mean, just overall, there's so much history with all the performers, like a lot of the performers involved, and it's almost like saying bye to friends to some
Mhm.
degree. It's like these are guys who were there from the very beginning for Martin Scorsese, and this is a fine excuse to give a lengthy farewell to their creative partnership where it's like here we found a way to make you part of this decades long story from end to end using technology, and I thought it worked out pretty well. So I really like it. I own it. I have it on my shelf. I have my copy right here. So that's pick number one that we matched up on, Brad.
All right. Got three more we got to hit. No more. Three more and no more.
You gonna give yourself a prize or something like some mac and cheese or something if you manage to get the four
Yeah,
for four?
I'll order myself. I'll DoorDash another iced coffee tonight.
Yeah, that's wise. Making good decisions. All right. So I suppose the pick is to me, and you set me up for this, so I'm just going to run with it. This is why I have Brad pick first, folks, is because it's a lot of fun to play off of Brad's picks. One of these days, we should do that. One of these days, you can host the show,
Ooh,
and I'll be subject to the pressure of having to be the first one out from
yeah.
behind the curtain.
I'll host and I'll flip my camera.
You got to do it. Brad, you got to do it. We got to see that Jaws
Oof.
poster and actually be able to read
Yeah, yeah,
it.
I know, I know.
Okay, so as I said, you set me up for this because I'm just gonna cheat a little bit here and do a multi-pick and just cover all of my crime epics in one go because that is actually when I was looking at my shelf, because I had to do this manually. I just had to look at my shelf and like squint and be like, was that long? I think that was long. And then I had to pull it off the shelf and check the runtime and verify, yes, that was in fact long. The two There were three genres that kind of got like stood out to me the most. Was one, contemporary blockbusters have been very, very long in recent years. Two, war movies. War movies tend, in general, to be very, very long. And three, crime epics. Like crime dramas tend to be very, very long. It makes sense, being as a lot of times they depict a rise followed by a cataclysmic fall of some sort. And in order to have the most impact behind that, you kind of have to live with that character or that family or whatever for a long time. Anyway, I have four cases in my hand, not necessarily four movies though. So I'm just going to run through all of them, and then Brad and I can just talk about whatever we want to having to do with these movies, or maybe just crime movies in general. Who knows? So I have here the oddly advertised uh, Heat Director's Definitive Edition, which I believe is only having to do with video and sound. This is just a Blu-ray. It's not even a 4K. It's not a different cut of the movie. I believe it's just a color and sound once over that Michael Mann did for this movie, probably to promote the Heat 2 book, which I believe is in talks to become a movie at some point. Anyway, I think this is under your scale for runtime. I think this
Hmm.
is 170 minutes, so it's sub 3 hours, but
Yep,
still,
I have that exact release, but I did not grab it for that reason.
yeah,
But
it's less than 3 hours,
the
and that was
4K,
your
I
standard.
the 4K also I've heard is controversial.
Really?
I can't remember the issues, but there was some issues with it. So that's one of the reasons I didn't immediately upgrade.
Yeah, to me, it's like there wasn't enough time between the releases,
Yeah.
and also the 4K, I believe, was pretty expensive, and I was very happy with this Blu-ray, so I've just held on to it. I didn't know that there was controversy, though. I'll have to look into that. Anyway, in addition to that, I have The Godfather, The Couple Restoration, 14.99 from Al's. Al's on the Ave here in the University District of Seattle. That's apparently where I bought this from. We have Godfather film from 1972, 202 minutes for
Oh,
the second
jeez.
Godfather, 100 and back to 170 for the third Godfather film. So Godfather 2 it's quite thick, quite meaty. In addition to that, I also have The Godfather Coda, The Death of Michael Corleone, which is, of course, the recut of Godfather 3. I picked this up on a lark just because I have a curiosity in general about alternative cuts of films. I think this is actually probably inferior in some respects, like the resequencing of some of the sequences, like some of the scenes in the movie, just feels wrong, and the much hyped, much lauded like alternative ending just I didn't I didn't get it. To quote the guy from Big, I don't get it. 157 minutes though, so they cut almost 20 minutes from that. And the last one I have here is Brian De Palma's Scarface, starring Al Pacino. And this is 2 hours and 50 minutes, so just shy of 3 hours. Um, and this is just the Blu-ray from Universal. I think there's a 4K of this one floating around out there, right?
Yeah, I think I have the 4K. Yeah, I do. Yep.
You've not
Um,
seen it though yet, right?
no, I still have never seen Scarface.
Okay.
I really wanted to watch it as a young male in college, but I said I'm too worried, too worried I'll become one of those bros. So I had to wait. I had to hold off on that.
I think we've had that conversation before, but this movie, man, it's kind of like The Wolf of Wall Street, where
Hmm.
there's a certain breed of male. Like, I don't know any women who've gone through this transformation before. It seems to only be a male phenomenon, but something about Scarface, something about Wolf of Wall Street just has a way of communicating, and maybe even like American Psycho also, just like 80s consumerism films in
Hmm.
general
Yeah.
tend to resonate with people and communicate exactly the wrong message to the wrong people. Where it's like, did you watch the film? Like, did you actually watch this movie? I mean, Wolf of Wall Street's a little bit difficult because the end of that one, it doesn't really, it kind of like makes a joke out of it to some
Yeah.
extent, where it's just like, yeah, I guess he didn't really pay much for his crimes or whatever. This one is pretty explicit. This is not a cool guy. Like, this guy is a fuck up.
Yeah.
But people love Tony Montana. They quote him. They aspire to be him. They have like portraits of him hanging up in their dorm room. And yeah, when you're in high school and you're a dude with airsoft guns under his bed, for some reason, Scarface is the fucking movie for you.
You know who really loves that movie?
Who? Charlie?
Alien from Spring Breakers. James Franco's character.
I haven't seen Spring Breakers, but you,
Uh,
you
he-
confirmed who you're talking about.
he's got a line in the movie where he's talking about all his guns and his his all his stuff. His look at my shit scene, and there's one line where he goes, "I got Scarface on repeat."
oh, oh god, yeah. See, that communicates
I
so
love
much
that.
about a person. It really does. Like, I I was friends with these people. I can only speak with an air of authority about this because I've lived it. I've been in the room for this. I've witnessed this phenomenon. There's just something about Scarface that just grabs those guys,
Hmm.
and they make it out to be a lifestyle to be idolized. It's like, no, absolutely not. That's why the Irish, to reel it back, that's why the Irishman exists in a lot
Hmm.
of ways. It's the antithesis of that. It's kind of like, after decades of these kinds of movies that, whether they intend to or not, kind of glamorize the criminal lifestyle, we kind of need one of these movies out there, just to communicate to people, like, this is not a thing to aspire to. This is not a
Yeah.
lifestyle worth living.
You can't walk out of The Irishman thinking, I want to be like that guy.
I mean, yes, by the time you get to the end of it's pretty hard to justify that. Whereas Scarface, it's like, oh, but he went out with a blaze of glory or whatever. It's like, no, absolutely not.
Say hello to my little friend. It was just a
Say
little
hello
too
to my little
cool.
friend.
That line was just a little too cool.
Yeah.
I will say I forgot another one. This one because uh the one downside of the Blu-ray.com app is with runtimes, if there's box sets for
Mm.
trilogies, it just groups them all together into one long runtime. So again, I just scrolled past all these because I'm like, oh, these are trilogies, these are box sets, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And so I did forget the Godfather Part 2. Part 1 is not long enough for my rule, but Part 2 does fit the bill. And Trevor, you got to get these on 4K, man, because this is like maybe my go-to, especially for older films, to show how good they can look in 4K.
Oh,
The
no shit.
Godfather on 4K is it'll make you a believer.
I mean, to quote one of my regular co-hosts on Catching Up on Cinema, to quote the Boondock Saints, one of his favorite quotes from that movie: "Primo box,
Primo box.
primo box."
Yeah, and it is the funny thing with it is I don't because you have the individual release of the death of Michael Corleone,
I
right?
do, yeah.
it is funny that this one, I believe the 4K is the recut, the death of Michael Corleone. Yeah, the
Oh,
4K is. The original is included, but only on Blu-ray on a bonus disc.
wow.
Kind
I
of
wonder if
interesting.
there's some sort of legality involved or if that's like a director's mandate or something. Because I wouldn't be surprised if Coppola has some say in how these things are presented.
Oh no, I'm wrong. I'm just ignore
Oh,
me.
you're full of shit?
Well,
Okay.
no, I'm wrong, but I'm a little right because uh, how they have it set up here. Here, let me do one of these. Uh, how they have it set up here is here's like the individual thing. Like this is the
Ooh,
Godfather Part 3,
Coda. Yeah.
case.
Yeah.
And then this one, bonus discs, you open it up and it has the Godfather Part 3 theatrical and 91
Ooh.
cut on
Okay.
4K, but in the bonus disc.
Weird.
So, it is what it is. There you go.
Very interesting. I
Yeah.
mean, I can hear the theme music in my head as you're showing me those discs. So yeah, I probably should invest in that, especially if you say it's like an exhibition disc.
Yeah, I was really impressed by it. Now, the classic question, Trevor,
Hmm.
is Godfather 1 or 2? Which one's better? Which one do you prefer?
If you asked me today, I'd probably say two.
I think I would as well.
But if I rewatched it, I who knows? It's like I mean, not to always bring things back to boxing, but it's like Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler. It's like who won that fight? It's like ask me on Tuesday, I'll say Hagler. Ask me on Wednesday, I'll say Leonard. You know, it's just that kind of relationship between those movies.
Mm-hmm.
They're both amazing. Like they're both really
Yeah.
good.
I feel like by the time I get to the end of each of them, I prefer number 2. But I've had two recent, it's been a few years since I've seen either film, but um, recently it was at some family gathering. I don't know if it was like on Easter or like some family event on Lizzie's side of the family. They had The Godfather playing in one room, and there was like all guys sitting around watching it. There was like four of us, and I
Yeah.
walked in. And it was like the middle of the movie, and I sat down and started watching it with them, and it was like every scene was like, oh, this is a great scene. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
this is
Mm-hmm.
amazing. It was like every scene was iconic. And then recently, also, a few months after that, me and Lizzie went out of town for a wedding, and we got to this hotel. They did not have regular TV. They did not have cable, which was shocking to me because it's like
Yeah.
I was looking forward to that because I don't have cable, and I was like looking forward to just like putting on CNN and just having background. I was like excited about that. So they didn't have that, but they had a TV. But you had to either sign into a streaming service or whatever. So I went on Tubi, and they had The Godfather. So I was like, all right, I'll put this on, just have it on in the background. And it sucks in, I can tell you that much. Starting from the top, we almost missed the wedding we were there for because I was so into it. So
Yeah, that's a really good point. That like almost every scene in both of those first two movies is like a classic thing that's very easy to recall. It's like crystallized in your memory and
mhm.
in the collective memory of cinema kind of. And also they had that running gag in You've Got Mail about how quotes from The Godfather are like the foundation of maleness in the eyes of Tom Hanks's character in
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And I was like, I mean, he's not wrong. Like I've hung out with my dad and his friends, and yeah, they quote that like stuff from the early '70s. It's like foundational to them. Like for us, it's a little different because we weren't there for it. But
I
yeah,
think
on the subject of hotel cable, I've said this before, but I need to share it again just because it was a magical moment in my young life. Maybe the best programming I've ever seen on a cable network was on a weekend trip to Vancouver, Canada, with my mom. It was Blade, Saving Private Ryan, and Terror of Mechagodzilla, which
oh
happens to
wow.
be like top three Godzilla movies for me personally. Like top three, like one of my very favorites. They could have picked any of the at the time probably like 25 Godzilla movies, and they picked that one. Blade, Saving Private Ryan, and Terror of Mechagodzilla without like the violence edited out for some reason. I don't know if it was a premium cable network. It wasn't HBO or something, but I just turned on the TV and just arbitrarily picked a channel, and I was like, "These people get me."
That was like the Trevor channel right
Yeah, I
there.
was like, "What did I stumble across, Mom? Can we move here?"
TMN, Trevor Movie Network.
I mean, that would be a dream, Brad. Like
Oh yeah.
run your own like programming for a streaming network or something.
I speaking of violence never being edited out, there was one time I took a ski trip up to Canada,
Mm.
and I don't think it was a premium cable network. I think it was just like a Canadian network. Um, and we were watching, and I'd never seen it before. I think I maybe had known of it, but Boogie Nights, and we were about partway through the movie, and we're watching it, and it's the kind of thing where it's like, oh wow, this got a lot of big actors in it, blah blah blah. And I don't think it was edited for television. I don't know if it was like some Canadian thing where they, there's not as much censorship on their channels. I don't know. But I just remember we're watching it, and no context for the setup because we joined halfway through. We got to the point where William H. Macy puts a gun in his mouth, and
Oh.
we were like, "Whoa!" We're
Whoa.
like, we did not expect that. Pretty wild.
Boogie Nights on TV, no less.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
so, Bud, I think it's your pick.
that's right. Because you did the crime epics.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, what, I'll get this one out of the way because technically I should have done this one. Um, Actually, hang on, maybe not. Hang on a second.
Hang on.
209. Because I'm going by theatrical. Nope, this one's next. Okay, we're going with this one. All right.
Mm.
I'm not gonna have a ton to say about this one because I've seen it before, but it's been a long time. But it is a classic, and it's worth bringing out. It is Seven Samurai.
Ooh.
Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai Criterion release. It's kind of film where it's like so iconic and so classic. What even is there to say? I feel like I can't do it justice because it's been so long since I've seen it, but I do remember loving it. And this is just the Blu-ray. I believe it does have a Criterion 4K now.
As of like less than a year ago, I
Yeah,
want
it's
to
pretty
say.
new. I have not upgraded. But I do really love the
Ooh.
movie. I have not seen a ton of Kurosawa samurai films, but I will mention, I'm going to mention this on my show as well, but just while we're on the subject here, I will mention last night I did watch a Kurosawa film
Oh,
for
high
the
and
first
low.
time. I did watch High and Low,
Kind of
yes.
figured.
Have you seen High and Low?
I have. Yes.
I loved it. I will say I maybe have one potential nitpick thing, one little thing where it's like, it's not quite greatest film of all time for me, but overall, absolutely loved it. And yeah, I really need to watch more Kurosawa films. I did just pick up the Yojimbo Sanjuro box set from Criterion as well,
Ooh,
the 4K.
good
So I can
times. Good
finally watch
times.
those. I have seen Rashomon, which I do really like, but out of the Kurosawas I've seen, that was probably out of the three I think I've seen, probably my least favorite of the three. Um, but yeah, Seven Samurai, I would say probably is my number one Kurosawa film as of now. But I kind of thing where it's so big and so epic in scale, and I need to revisit it because I can't even do it justice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's been so long since probably think I was in like middle school, honestly. The one time I saw it. But now that it has the 4K, I've actually been waiting for that, like pretty much since I started collecting movies to get that. So like basically since 4K came around, I was like, more specifically when Criterion started doing 4Ks, because folks, if you're not aware, that they're kind of a recent arrival to the format. They weren't
They were
doing it
they were
until
very late.
yeah, they were very late to the game, and I know Citizen Kane, they did put out a 4K. That was like one of the early ones, I think. And finally, Seven Samurai, they put out a 4K of it, which is probably going to be ultimately the reason I pick up a physical copy of it, because it's a movie I've never owned, but I did see when I was very young. My mom showed me a lot of old samurai movies from the 50s and 60s when I was a little kid. Like when I was like middle school age, it was funny. I remember trying to con my teachers into letting me use subtitled movies as books, because we had to have like book credits for
Yeah.
school. And I was like, but I'm like reading the whole movie. They're like, no, it's not a book. I was like, dang it. But I used to watch those movies with my mom. And in fact, Toshiro Mifune, I mentioned him last time I talked with you, funny enough, just a couple days ago. He's kind of like a hero of mine growing up, as he was to a lot of people, honestly, of many many generations. Uh, Largely because of the samurai trilogy of movies, which are not Kurosawa movies, but it's based on the life of Miyamoto Musashi. He's the star of those, and I remember my mom borrowing those from the library, and we watched them together. And that was kind of what got me in the swing of things. But yeah, Seven Samurai was just like a natural progression from that, where she's like, he can tolerate these slow ass movies. It's okay. Let's do a 3 hour one, see if he can handle it black and white also. And it helped that he was in the cast. And of course, he has a really meaty role in that one. It's a movie I've not seen in a very long time, decades at this point, but I'm really excited to give it another look, especially because its cultural footprint is impossibly vast. Like, we had a comment here from our boy Santino, my boy. Uh, isn't that what Bug's Life is based off of? And I believe that is the case. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
among other countless movies, like Magnificent Seven is maybe one of the most obvious, like one-to-one kind of remakes of it. They made a whole franchise off of that.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be up there in terms of like direct inspirations of like one of the most influential films ever. I mean, it is crazy. It's almost like you think of, you say The Lion King is a adaptation of Hamlet. It's like, man, there's so many movies that are like loose adaptations of Seven Samurai. It's pretty insane. And worth mentioning. I mean, not that Kurosawa needs any extra praise. I mean, the guy is pretty lauded as it is, but I mean, looking at the top 250 on Letterboxd, this guy has 4 movies in the top 20 highest rated films on Letterboxd. Like that's pretty that batting average, that's pretty crazy. And I think he deserves it. Like I'm not like watching these and thinking, that was good, but not that great. Like pretty much every single one I watch is like absolute banger.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's a massively accomplished filmmaker. Kyle and I used to joke that's like, was like Janus Films and like Criterion, was that all like founded as just like a distribution system for him? Because if you look at like their earliest titles, it seemed like they were kind of hoarding all of
Mm-hmm.
his work or something. But yeah, he's a filmmaker I haven't like done a deep dive on in a very long time. I haven't really examined his works in a long time, but um, thanks to Spike Lee's remake of High and Low. I think it's is it Highest to Lowest, or I forget what the title is.
Yeah, highest to lowest.
Yeah, thanks to things like that, like it gets people, it renews interest in the subject matter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the cast of that one is really remarkable. Like, I couldn't name every performer in there, but there's a lot of familiar faces because, like I said, I was raised on the Godzilla. So a lot of Toho, like a lot of their stable of actors, are present in that film. And even as a little kid, that there was like a little bit of like a hype factor that came with like, oh, I know his face. That's the doctor from Godzilla versus Mothra or whatever. Why does he have an eye patch? Why is he bad? Oh, now he's dead. And of course, Takashi Shimura is like acting royalty. Ikiru is like one of his more famous ones. That's one of the ones that I remember being really excellent. High and Low is also a really good example of him as well. and he had a small role in the first Godzilla movie as well. And then, of course, Toshiro Mifune is just he's just great. Like he's just magnetic. He's one of those screen presence actors that's just like you put him in front of a camera and you just always get something special. Even to some extent like his Twilight years, where I just watched not too long ago The Challenge with Scott Glenn. Uh, and Toshiro Mifune's in this. I think this is from like 1979 or something, or very late 70s or early 80s. And you can tell like some of the people in this are not giving their best efforts, but you still feel it. You still feel some of that juice. But yeah, Seven Samurai is definitely a 4K I'll pick up at some point.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon. I'll just wait for the next sale, I guess.
Yeah, I probably should just pick it up, and that'll be the next time I watch Seven Samurai. I also own Throne of Blood, I think
Mm.
is the other Kurosawa I own and have not watched yet.
I've not seen that one personally. Uh,
Hmm.
Highly lauded though, like so many of his other movies.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so I suppose the ball is to me, and that's it's kind of a tricky one. I don't
Tricky one.
really.
I just gave you a samurai movie, dude. Come on. If anybody's going to bounce off of that, it should be you.
Well, I have one, but it's one I've talked about before, and it's also I don't think no, it's not long enough.
Uh,
It's like 100. It's 149 minutes.
Oh,
It's not.
that's kid
Yeah,
stuff.
that
Come
I'll
on.
just show it on the screen. I'm not gonna. This isn't my pick. This is disqualified because it's too short, according to Brad. There are rules to this game, all of
Hmm.
which are being enforced by Brad. So this one is disqualified, so it's not my pick. But this is actually a Japanese Blu-ray, like direct from Japan. They don't often English subtitle their discs, but this one they did, and they did a wonderful job with the disc presentation. Sekigahara. This is I really enjoyed this movie. Actually, I mean, I am fascinated by the historic event upon which it's based. This is a slightly embellished version of it, um, but it features a lot of historical figures presented in a semi-fictionalized manner, uh, in a really interesting way. Where the production design, the costuming and stuff in this movie are lavish and gorgeous, and it's an interesting feudal era war movie in that quite a lot of it is just about politicking. It's just about people running up and down halls, like doing favors to each other, and it's quite most of the movie is just politic. It's just like
Yeah.
catty politicians maneuvering and making deals so they can get bodies on the field of battle, and then the battle itself, while taking up quite a lot of the movie, uh, is a little bit of an anticlimax in some ways, but I really enjoyed this movie. It's not the first time I've brought it up. The score for this is excellent.
I like that
Um,
artwork a lot.
I do too. The configuration, like the layout of the poster, is this is like contemporary Hollywood in in a nutshell. Though, like any Avengers movie, this is what it is. It's just a wall of faces usually. I'm getting really tired of it, honestly, because there's some really uninspired examples of this. I actually think I have one. One sec. So this could be a pick. It's not going to be. This would be an example of the same design layout,
Mm.
but done really poorly. Where it's just like faces, people, but there's like no real flow or vibe to it. The coloring is just kind of bleh. This is the same concept, but just done really artfully.
Yeah.
Anyway, wait, hang on. I got another samurai movie, because of course I do. uh, dang, still not long enough. 154 minutes, Brad.
I could watch that tonight. That's nothing,
I
man.
know. I'll just throw it up real quick. Last Samurai.
Mm.
Ed's Wick. It's not long enough though, according to Brad. So we gotta hunt for something
I
long. We
mean,
gotta
you
hunt
can
for
make
something
it an
long.
official pick if you want to. I'm just saying,
No,
for me,
no,
for
no,
me,
no, no. I mean, I did rewatch it not that long ago. Like I had a hankering for it for some reason. I think maybe like you and maybe Travis or one of your other buddies or something mentioned Edward Zwick or something, and I was like,
Yeah, we did just talk about him. What?
I
Why?
think it was you and Travis or something. You mentioned Ed Zwick, and I was like, Ed Zwick, that's a name I've not heard since. And then I was like, oh well, I guess I'm watching Last Samurai.
Oh, yeah. Who did I do this? Was it with Kyle? We talked Courage Under Fire, which is
Oh yeah, oh
a
yeah, that was it. That was it.
classic Zwick flick.
Zwick flick. I mean, I think what we all think of Dances with Wolves when we think of Ed Zwick.
Mm, he
Was
didn't.
that
I
him?
don't think he did Dances with. Like, what do you mean?
Did he direct that, or was that Costner?
No, I think that was Costner, right?
I don't actually know. Like,
Because
I remembered it as being something that was like co-opted or something, where he's like, somebody's name is on this, but it's probably just Kevin Costner because he probably
yeah,
directs everything he's in to some
Co-
extent.
Costner is listed as director on
Okay,
that
never
one.
mind then.
Are you thinking of Glory? Maybe.
Glory is what I was thinking of.
Okay.
Some other Civil War adjacent movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I checked that actually. Glory is like 2 hours solid. I thought it would be long because, like I said, war movies is generally what I think of as being long. No, it's like 2 hours on the dot.
Zwick knew this was going to play in classrooms, and he had to get it over 2 periods. That was his goal, and he nailed it.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna throw some shit at the wall, I guess, and see what sticks. So I'm gonna pull
This guy
something.
snuck in. I think he snuck in 3 picks
I
before his
did.
official
I
pick
managed. I
here.
managed to game the system and just keep throwing stuff up on the screen. So I have here another documentary. In fact, I may as well just do two because these are both ones I haven't watched yet, but they're both extremely long, and these are from Creator VC, which is like a crowd-funded production group that happen to do documentaries on a lot of subjects that interest me personally. So I actually pay into them and then receive Blu-rays from them like a year after I pay into them. Uh, they do good work though. So I have here Terrorbytes, the evolution of horror gaming.
Ooh.
Yeah, I kind of dig the cover art. It has a slipcase in the whole bit.
Yeah, I just like the concept. I kind of like.
Yeah, I know. That's why I paid into it. I was like, I want to see a lengthy documentary about the history of horror video games. I play a lot of horror video games. And this is from this year. It's brand new. I haven't watched it yet because it's very long. It's 380 minutes long. So this is another extremely long documentary, as is the style of the Creator VC ecosystem. But I appreciate that, being as the price tag tends to be kind of up there, being as I'm paying into essentially a Kickstarter in order to get this disc. My name is probably in the credits of some of these, honestly. But yeah, this is written and directed by Richard Moss, and it appears to be very comprehensive, like going all the way back to like the Atari days, when I think there's a pre-Atari game. I think it's on the Odyssey is the name of the console. It's simply called Haunted House. It's literally just you move a pixel on a screen, and it makes use of a like an uh, illustrated map that you plaster onto the screen to serve as the graphics for the game. So it's like ultra primitive, but it's basically just like a move the pixel to avoid the other pixel kind of game. It goes from that up until today, where horror gaming is immense. Like it's one of the largest pillars of gaming these days, I want to say, especially when you take into consideration like the pseudo horror kind of move, like games like Resident Evil, which is oftentimes, like from a gameplay standpoint, more of an action based affair, but tinged with horror, so it still qualifies. I mean, that's part of the appeal of horror, is it can be so many things to so many people. Um, so I'm really excited to watch this. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, being as it's 380 minutes long. And then on top of that, I have another one that I'm actually less interested in. I picked this up kind of on a lark. I think I actually didn't pay into the Kickstarter on this one. I just purchased it from Creator VC, probably around the same time I paid into that Kickstarter. I have FPS, first person shooter. the definitive FPS documentary. So this is the same concept applied to first-person shooters. So the history of first-person shooter video games. And this is from director David L. Craddock and Christopher Stratton. And this is only 275 minutes, so considerably shorter than the 380-minute one. And it's from 2023, so it's a couple years old at this point. By the way, we have a question directed at you, Brad, from Chuck Underhill. Brad, are you jacked and jazzed for the Brain Dead 4K? Holla back.
Well, Chuck, I'm always jacked and jazzed, but I am very much jacked and jazzed for the Brain Dead 4K. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we just know that there's a restoration being done. I don't think it's like gotten like a distributor or any sort of release from any sort of physical media company. So depending on where it goes, I'll be even more jacked and jazzed. But no, I've seen Brain Dead only once and a long time ago, so I've been dying for a proper new physical release of this thing. And yeah, I'm very excited for when it ultimately comes out.
Now, Peter Jackson's Brain Dead is what we're talking about here.
Yeah. I assume so. That's the one. That's
Yeah,
what I'm talking about.
I know who we're talking about here. So yes,
Yeah.
I just wanted to make that explicit and clear.
Yes.
But yeah, I think we're all pretty excited about that. Should it actually come to fruition? Like, I don't know where we are in talks about that, but I know there's demand for it. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Chuck Underhill follows up. Peter Jackson is a billionaire. He'll make it happen. I mean, he can. He could. He just hasn't. Although, who knows when it comes to these production houses and stuff? Like they like to squat on stuff sometimes. Who knows?
I mean, that is one where, sometimes with these, 4K restorations and stuff, they'll do a brief theatrical run and then put it on physical. And a lot of times I'm like, I'll just wait for a physical. But that's one I would actually rush out to see that in theaters because it's been so long since I've watched that film, and I remember liking it at the time when I was younger. I think I'd get even more of a kick out of it now because, I don't know. I think I'm even more of a sicko now. So that's I'm looking for movies like that to really hit that level of gore.
Yeah, it's kind of a rarefied air where that film exists when it comes to on-screen bloodletting. Like
Mm-hmm.
we do get gore movies every once in a while. I mean, the Terrifier movies occupy a very very highly specific but sought after niche in the world of horror. Um, so we'll see if anything else is out there that can step up to the plate for that. But yeah, it's funny because it's something that to me was always like a draw for horror movies when I was younger. Like Evil Dead 2 in particular, I remember enjoying quite a lot when I was much younger. And had I gotten around to Brain Dead when I was around the same age, I certainly heard about it. I probably would have sought that one out too. Day of the Dead also was a big one for me when I was like 14, 15 or something. Um, Maybe it's a little bit of a lost art. Maybe there's less demand of it for it or something. But I guess for the time being, we have Terrifier.
Yeah. Well, it's it goes in ebbs and flows. There will always be a resurgence of gore. I feel definitely Terrifier versus Brain Dead, way more goofy versus trying to actually make you vomit or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, personally, Chuck Underhill would disagree with me, but like personally, my attraction to horror is not true horror because I don't unsettle or scare very easily in movies. Like I absolutely do get scared in real life all the time. I'm a squirrel of a human being. I'm always on edge. I'm a very anxious person. Chuck can probably attest to that. But when it comes to movies, I feel very safe, and I don't get upset or uneasy easily. And so when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to like horror and stuff, I think that's why I'm drawn to like monsters and gore more than anything else, is because the spectacle of it and also the effects technology and stuff fascinates me. So in general, like my taste of horror is is more goofy, is more Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell having a ball in a cabin somewhere.
Trevor is saying that the scariest movie for him would be if he were to somehow rewatch his entire day after the fact. That would be the scariest movie of all time for him.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, if I had to take a good long look at my life, that'd do it.
No.
Fetal position on the floor.
This guy's living the dream. Look at him. He's surrounded by physical media.
I'm surrounded by discs. I'm surrounded by disc rot.
Now that's scary. Now that
I'm
is
breathing mold as we speak. Anyway, that was my pick-ish. Like I said, I haven't seen those movies, so I actually have nothing to say about them, really. So, balls to you, sir. What's your next pick?
Well, I'm actually gonna break my rule here, only because the transition is too perfect. I just have to do it, because this is not the next longest. Although, if you count the director's cut, maybe it would be the extended cut. Maybe it would be the longest. But just because we're already on the topic, as you say, Peter Jackson, homeboy.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Jesus,
he does long. He does long.
What am I thinking? I went to go grab Peter Jackson's King Kong.
Hey, that's what, 2?
Ding, 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 ding. Hang on, I got one.
Ding, 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 ding.
Let's add a little bit of showmanship to.
You just happen to have that.
It was my grandma's birthday last week, so.
Oh, well, congrats to your grandma.
But no, I grabbed this and I said I'm breaking my rule, and I skipped over another movie to keep the Peter Jackson theme. You know what movie I skipped over? I wasn't even thinking. I skipped over Peter Jackson's magnum opus over here, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, of course. I got 2 Peter Jackson movies, boom, boom, bang. So I'll just do them together, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Lord of the Rings, I don't really have much to say on because, there's people that are bigger fans of it than I that can go on, but I do love it. I think miracles of movies right here, of movie making. I do truly love them. It's been a long time since I've actually sat down and watched them, though. I will say that. And I've been too scared. I've been too scared to do the extended cuts.
What?
Yeah, I'm a theatrical guy. Theatrical.
But why?
too long, too scary. I'm gonna get lost in the weeds. I mean, we're talking 263 minutes on Return of the King. Woo! I mean, that is long. That is long.
I've watched that Jason Voorhees documentary like 5 times. That's 400 minutes, son.
So, you know, that I'd be more willing to get into. Well, it's also because growing up, I had the DVDs, and I had DVDs of I think I only had the theatrical cuts. So that was another reason. And then by the time I had the means to watch the extended cuts, I said, do I really want to sit and watch the extended cut? I'll stick with the theatrical. So never dip my toes in the extended cuts. Maybe I should someday. Maybe if I actually sit down and read these things, I would. But anyway, I do love the films. I'm just not like the biggest LOTR fan, but I do love them. I don't want to say I don't like them. I just know that there are some people out there who are freaks for these movies. Peace and love. I'm
curious if any of them are in the room right now.
Yeah, I mean, peace and love. I have nothing against those people. I'm just saying, I do not own these movies. Okay. I mean, I literally own them on disc, but like in terms of like ownership, like these are not my movies. This is not my franchise. I love it, but it ain't mine. All right.
I'll pause you for a second and just say that I back you up.
All right.
We're like this. I like those movies. I have a lot of appreciation for those movies. Those movies mean a lot to a lot of people. I'm not among those people. Like they just didn't grab me. Like they don't mean the same thing to me as they do to basically everyone in my orbit.
Yeah.
They're not for me. They're not mine. which is my own cross to bear, I guess. But I don't even own those movies. Like that shows you to the extent like I give a shit.
There you
I
go.
really
There you
enjoy
go.
the making of. I enjoy all that business, which I guess would be a justification for me to own them. But yeah, Lord of the Rings just not not mine.
Well,
Not it's just not mine.
that makes me feel less bad about. I never owned them on Blu-ray. I went from DVD to 4K, so I was a little embarrassed about that. But sometimes it happens. It happens.
I mean,
Um,
I hate to admit that in public that the Lord of the Rings isn't really my thing because, like I said, like everyone in my orbit, it's like it's their thing. Like their identity is based around it. It
you
means the
gotta
world to
be
them.
you gotta be true to yourself. It's like me with submarine movies. I'm just not a big submarine movie guy. There's just nothing. It can be the best submarine movie ever made. It's just I'm not a big submarine movie guy. I'm sorry. I
Not even Crimson Tide.
Crimson Tide would be the peak. That would be the peak for me, I think. I
Crimson
mean,
Tide is great.
Das Boot was very good, but
Westwood
it's
is
just like
great.
none of these submarine. I'm never just like, oh yes, a submarine movie. I'm
I
so
mean, you get into
excited to
like
be back in that
K-19
world.
Widowmaker, and it's like, yeah, I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, that's where it
U
starts to
five
get.
seven one is like, yeah, Bill Paxton's not really here, is he?
Yeah,
You promised me.
if somebody were to say, "Hey, we're doing a new Lord of the Rings movie," there'd be a lot of people out there. Well, some people would say, "Don't even do it" or whatever. Blah, 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 but some people would be like, "All right, I'm excited to see what we can do in this world." I tried watching the show, didn't really grab me,
Well, the
but it's the,
Amazon one.
the Amazon one. I watched the whole first season, it didn't really work for me. But
Yeah, people have feelings about like a lot of the people I know who are diehards. Mm-mm, no
yeah,
sir, no sir.
yeah, I thought it was kind of bad to be honest.
I didn't
Um,
bother. Like I was like, I can't pretend to care about this.
I remember it just this is off topic, but remember it was the Game of Thrones, the new show, the House of the Dragon, and the Lord of the Rings show both were coming out like around the same time.
People were betting on the Lord of the Rings show.
I know, I was too. I
Yeah,
watched the trailer. I
yeah,
was like, "Oh wow, this looks great."
yeah.
I'm like, "House of the Dragon's gonna suck." Remember how bad Game of Thrones ended? And I changed my tune very quickly,
A lot of
very
people did.
quickly.
I had to edit a video for Red Cow, the YouTube channel, about uh, the House of the Dragon without knowing anything about Game of Thrones or having ever
Yikes!
seen House of the
Whoa!
Dragon. And I had to farm for clips and stuff. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. It was really hard. It was very labor intensive. But in the process of doing that, I decided like I think this show is good. I think this show might be good.
Hmm.
Like I can't confirm that because I never actually went back and watched it, but I do have an HBO subscription right now, and I'm kind of curious to like actually go back and take a look because like just skimming through episodes to farm for clips and stuff, I was like, I think this might be a good show. I can't really tell, but I got a gut feeling about it.
Yeah, House of the Dragon season 1, I was really impressed with. Season 2 was okay. It didn't
Okay,
quite hit the same
okay.
highs, but I've continued with it, and I did not do the same for the Lord of the Rings show. So, but anyway, so I do
Anyway,
not own Lord of the Rings. Now, I'm not going to say I own King Kong, Peter Jackson's King Kong. I'm not even going to say I like it more than Lord of the Rings. I don't. I think these are better movies. But I will say in terms of degree of love versus public perception, I like this movie a lot more than most people. I actually really like Peter Jackson's King Kong. I think maybe the last act loses me a little bit, but I love the just kind of the whole landing on an island, trekking through the jungle sort of thing. I have a lot of fun with it. And I love the bug sequence. It good time. I remember seeing this in theaters, fond memories of that. The video game is a banger as well. I loved the video game back in the day. That was a huge surprise, except for when you played as King Kong in the very end in New York. That was terrible. But overall, I've got a really soft spot for this movie, and I don't it's the kind of thing where it's like, oh, do we need a remake of King Kong? Blah, blah, blah. But I think this one certainly, I think it justified its existence. I really do like it.
yeah, no, I wouldn't say I love Peter Jackson's King Kong, but I do hold the same level. I do hold quite a lot of respect for it, similar to Lord of the Rings, just on a sheer technical level. It is pretty incredible for its day. It really did a lot to, like, Lord of the Rings and King Kong, like the 1-2 punch of those did quite a lot to propagate like performance capture technology as like a viable medium for performance, because Andy Serkis, his work as Gollum, really kind of really got that ball rolling. And then of course he performs as King Kong in that movie, working under the same director. His work is incredible as always. And just the special effects in general are, while it's a little bit hit and miss at times, some of those treadmill shots and during the stampede with the dinosaurs is pretty hideous to look back on. When it's firing on all cylinders, when you're getting the best that Weta had to offer at that time, pretty darn spectacular. Um, and it's just like such a natural thing to be done. Or if you go back and you watch the original 1930s King Kong, it's not high art, like it's not highbrow entertainment. It is tooth and nail blockbuster entertainment. Like it's
Mhm.
kind of a dumb action movie, and the 3 hour plus version that Peter Jackson gave us is just an expansion of that, and also just a celebration of all that the original was. It gets it a lot better than subsequent adaptations or previous expectation adaptations had. Like the 1970s King Kong, just they didn't get it.
That one's rough.
It's rough. It's real rough because they didn't get it. Like they just didn't get it. It was Dino De Laurentiis. He wanted to make a big monster spectacle film. He was chasing that. He was chasing Jaws. Like he was always chasing Jaws. That was always the story with him. And just no one got it. Like Rick Baker did his best with doing the gorilla costume and stuff, but just the concept of it, some of the themes that were at work, just they didn't get it. Whereas the Peter Jackson one is just everything amplified. It's like, let's take every aspect of the story and every aspect of the characters and just give you much more of it, and then let's include every action beat from the original and blow it completely out of proportion with modern day technology. So on paper, it's like I applaud it. It's like, yeah, if you're gonna make a remake of a dumb spectacle movie from the 30s using modern technology, maybe just do that and add some schmaltz and melodrama while you're at it. So I don't hate it. It's a On paper it has a lot of value to it. It's interesting how he structured the progression of the narrative, where it's like first first third is New York, middle is Skull Island, last third back to New York. It's like, damn, you managed to put an hour of each of those. Like you would have thought like the island would have been most of it or something, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like no, it's almost equal as far as I recall.
Yeah, maybe counting the stuff on the boat as the
Yeah,
first third.
yeah,
But
yeah.
just to want to say, and again, not that saying like I own this movie or anything, but Letterboxd has a feature where you can see your movies that you have rated higher than the average rating.
Mm.
So the ones you like more than most people. And this one is in my top 12 or whatever it is in terms of rated higher than average. So there you go. It's not number one, but it's up there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to like. I don't know what is the average rating on that. You would say.
It's got a 3.4 average. Pretty
So wait,
decent.
wait, you give it like a 4.5 or something?
Oh, I give it a 5. That's a 5
A
banger for me,
five, a
baby.
five
I
banger.
love King Kong.
You love King Kong.
I own King Kong,
I
all right?
own. Now you own it. You own King Kong. Own
Yeah.
it. If you're gonna give it a five banger, you gotta own it.
It's like a loose 5. Like I know it's not a perfect movie, but I really do just watching it, I think it's a great experience.
Also, in your case, probably I'm making assumptions here, but maybe a moment in time movie too.
Mhm.
It's like when the movie came out, the production diary associated with it was kind of unprecedented. Like the
Mhm.
blog that Peter Jackson was doing alongside it, and then a movie tie-in video game that's actually really good. Like there was a lot of things converging on that movie, and to
Oh
have
yeah.
it actually be a good movie at the end of all that was kind of special in that time period. It was what, like 2006, I want to say?
Yeah, 5. I was gonna say 5, 5 or 6,
5
something
maybe.
like that. But there was a lot of hype
Yeah,
surrounding
there
it.
was a, I mean, as there should be. It's a King Kong movie
Hmm.
from the director of, the biggest trilogy of that era, basically,
Yeah, yeah.
with the exception of maybe the Matrix films. Although the Lord of the Rings definitely ended a lot better than Matrix. Like Matrix was a big thing, it just didn't. It fizzled out a little bit.
I mean, and this one's got Naomi Watts in it. I mean, you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
She doesn't close her mouth. That's something I've noticed about her acting method. So I kind of just
Hey, I
always kind
like it.
of
I like
Christian
it.
Christian Bale too. They got open mouth.
Yeah,
Something. It's Christian Bale.
I can see that.
That's his resting.
I can see that. Yeah, yeah.
Naomi Watts is great. Anyway, so King Kang. Where do I go from there, man? Let's go with icons, and also how we doing on time, Brad? Do we need to wrap it up here, or what's up?
No, we can. Well, yeah, you do one more pick at least for sure, and then we'll see if we want to do speed round after that or.
Okay, that's fair. So I'm gonna cheat again, and I'm gonna do 4 movies, I think,
Mm.
because I have a concept, a very very loose concept. So you talked about King Kang just now, King Kong.
Mm-hmm.
If Santino's still watching, what happened to Kang? Why don't we talk about Kang? Speaking of which, pause real quick. Magazine Dreams, Brad. Did you have you watched it?
No, I haven't gotten around to it. No.
I I would really like to. Just despite all the cancellations and animosity or whatever, um, I'm intrigued. Like on paper, that sounded great to me.
Is it a boxing movie? I can't remember. Or is
Bodybuilding,
it bodybuilding? Okay. Yeah.
yeah, but I think it's like amateur bodybuilding, like
Yeah.
aspiring bodybuilder.
Yeah. The
Um,
hype on that was pretty huge to start, and then it, you know,
I
you
mean,
know.
stuff happens.
Yeah.
Santino contributes. Our boy Santino, Starship Men, contributes. Deadpool killed him off screen. uh, to make a Simpsons reference that maybe you guys get, probably not. Poochie died on the way back to his home planet. Kang died on the way back to his home planet. That's the explanation as to what happened to Kang. So, like I said, you just talked about King Kong, and I would regard King Kong as an icon. So I'm going to talk about a trio of iconic figures in the world of culture, just like pop culture and cinema. And these movies are of varying length, some of which I believe will disqualify them from Brad's standards. So feel free to disregard if that's the case, Brad. So I have here Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition, which is 182 minutes long, so just over 3 hours
That works.
for the Ultimate Edition only. The theatrical is like 160-ish, which is still very very long. I have The Batman. Matt Reeves is the Batman, which maybe we'll get a sequel to, maybe not. Who knows at this point? It's been rough.
Hmm.
I would love to see that happen. I don't know if it's going to. 176 minutes. So we have just shy of 3 hours. So
Is
that's
that
two.
the theatrical cut is that long?
There,
Or is that
there is no director's cut of the Batman, as far as I know.
that's that I really don't remember it being that long. It's really that
It,
long?
it's
Holy
very long.
crap.
It's
Wow.
very long. I remember because my fiance sat on the floor watching that with me, and that was a bad choice. It's like
That's
we
wild.
need to use the couch or the bed or something. She was very uncomfortable. Okay, so Batman obviously is an iconic figure. So this is even more shy of 3 hours, which again, according to Brad's standards, this movie may not exist in my collection for the purposes of this conversation. Like I may hold something up and Brad just won't see a box because it's shy of 3 hours. No Time to Die,
Mm.
the James Bond film, the most recent James Bond film, is 2 hours and 43 minutes long, which is quite long, but not 3 hours long. And then finally, a kind of a modern icon, but I would argue very much an icon. John Wick,
Mm.
Chapter 4. Uh, this is the Amazon edition that has the holographic cover, as well as some additional bonus features. Just figured I'd mention that because the cover art might be different than people are used to. This one is, I think it is 169 minutes, so still shy of 3 hours.
Definitely very long, but I would say that
Only
uh,
Batman, only Batman v Superman counts.
well, I would. It's funny just because the theatrical Batman v Superman in my mind felt longer than all three of those.
The theatrical is only 151 minutes.
Yeah, it felt. I
Like,
remember seeing it in theaters. It felt very long.
I remember taking a piss break, and that is not something I do at the movies. I don't take piss breaks if I can help it.
Yeah,
I did that for
man.
Snake Eyes also, although that was for a different reason. I was like, I'm not missing anything.
I need to revisit the Batman because I truly would not have guessed it was that long. That's actually maybe I had issues with the runtime when I saw it. Santino, you can if you remember from our review, tell me. I don't know, but um, like looking back, I'm like, oh man, maybe I was so into it, I don't even didn't even process that it was almost 3 hours.
I really, really enjoyed that movie. I got a lot out of it. It's one of my favorite episodes of Catching Up on Cinema we did. Like Kyle would probably argue that with me because he was subject to me just talking at him for like 3+ hours. Santino would be very proud. That was a 3 hour episode. That was a 3 hour podcast. Probably longer than the movie, honestly. But yeah, Matt Reeves's The Batman really worked for me in a way that very few people around me agree with. Like, I don't. What's your take on it? Because like my fiance hated it. Her friends generally kind of like shrugged at it. Like they don't hate it. They're just like, yeah. And then Kyle, I think, hated it. Most people in my orbit just did not care for it.
Yeah, I liked it quite a bit. Yeah, Santino did give it a 6.
they they didn't show the parents dying, so it gets an extra star
Yeah.
bump.
No, I liked it quite a bit. Was sort of thing where in the grand scheme of things, like the plot and where some of the things went, I think I maybe took issue with. But just the vibes. I
The
loved the vibe. I
vibes,
mean,
shit.
come on, the Nirvana needle drop, amazing. So good.
See that's a thing that like if my buddy's watching right now and he knows who he is, I think he completely did like a dramatic eye roll at that when that was utilized in the
Mm.
film. Like marketing's one thing, but it's actually in the film, and I'm pretty sure if my buddy's watching, he was just like, "Oh fuck this movie!" like he had a visceral reaction to it.
And now, just is it because is he like I can't remember. Is it because he knows the song already? Is he a big Nirvana fan, or what's the reason? I guess.
It's a couple of reasons. It's like one, using a licensed track in a fictional universe feels false in some way, and then two, it just to him I felt like emotionally cheap, where it's like a shortcut kind of.
Mm. I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
I
I,
liked it.
I,
To me, it made sense because like it is weird. Like I hate when people like nerds on the internet have these kind of conversations, like what's happening with Alien Earth right now with the Ice Age thing, where it's like, well,
mm,
what this does is this makes it clear that Ice Age exists in the world of the Alien cinematic universe. It's like, okay, I mean, it's like what? Cool. It doesn't really mean much of anything other than a movie exists or something. But to me, it's like it is a little bit distracting, but the song choice is really good, and also it if you treat it as what Bruce Wayne is listening to himself, like on repeat, which apparently the director was doing when he was making the movie,
mm-hmm.
it makes a lot of sense. where it's like he's keeping himself, he's shackling himself to an emotion, to an emotional state via subjecting himself to this all the time. It's like it invites you into his headspace for just a brief montage of him, I think, just driving on a motorcycle.
Yeah, no,
Works
I
for me.
really like it. Yeah, I think sonically it really fits the movie, and yeah, I mean, I would rather have the song they chose. I'd rather have that than, you know, like Smells Like Teen Spirit or something.
Oh, that
Like,
see, that would have ruined it because
yeah,
it's too well known. It's a semi obscure Nirvana song. I mean, everything they've done is known, but it's a somewhat obscure Nirvana song, and it's foundational to the soundscape of the movie. Like the theme of the character, that cadence, the it has some resonance with the tune, with the melody of that song, and then it's used again with a more hopeful tinge to it at the end of the film. I like it. I like the movie, but very few people seem to agree with me.
I gotta revisit that thing, man. I tell you what.
I've seen it like 3 or 4 times, probably 4 times at this point, and I'm not done with it. I'll probably rewatch it happily. Maybe tonight.
I mean, it's under 3 hours, so I might be
perfectly manageable. Anyway, that was my pick. Would you like to do another one, Brad, or are you ready for speed round?
Yeah, I got enough where I say let's just do the speed round. I got a lot of 3-hour meat chunks here, meaty, thick cuts.
Thick and meaty cuts. All right. Well, folks at home, listeners, viewers, whoever you are, what we're about to be doing here is something we call the speed round, which probably takes a half an hour, honestly. Basically, we're just going to be taking all the movies that we set aside for today's discussion and just kind of skim through them. There will still be commentary. We're just not going to pause and have the same kind of back and forth that we've been having. So this is just an excuse for us to exhibit everything that we pulled off the shelf for today. All the runner-up picks. Yes, Leaf Catcher, speed round. Look forward to it. So, Brad, would you like to go first, or should I?
I can kick it off here.
Alrighty.
Now, just for the record, we have had 2 matches, correct? 2 official matches?
2 matches thus far.
All right.
King Kang and what was the other one?
Irishman. Irishman, yes.
So we need 2 more, folks. We're looking for 2 more matches.
2 more, no more, no less. This was one I was thinking was going to be a match. We'll see. I have Jimmy C's Titanic.
Oh, it happened. We have a third match. A third match. Mine's the 4K edition.
Yeah, mine's just the Blu-ray. But yeah, I think it's a great film. I think it's a classic.
Yeah, Big Jim's Big Boat movie.
I highly recommend pairing it with, I don't know if you've ever heard of the online comedian Dan Henschel, Trevor.
No, actually.
But his video it's a 55-minute YouTube video called How I Survived the Titanic. Great post-movie watch, I have to say. Classic. Next up, this one, it's got 2 cuts of the movie. One much longer, the director's cut. I have JFK.
Back and to the Left.
Oh, yes.
No, I wasn't telling you. It's a quote. I
got confused there.
Back and to the Left.
Yeah. Yeah, I've only seen this movie once, but I loved it.
It's great. It's
easily my favorite Oliver Stone movie. Like
that's a really good Oliver Stone movie. That's where his hyperkinetic editing style like really works. Like Natural Born Killers works for some people, utterly repulsive to others. JFK, it's more artful. It's more cohesive. Just a very good movie. I'm actually looking for an excuse to rewatch that one. I've been eyeing that disc for a long time. Just it's always more expensive than I was expecting.
Oh, it's very pricey. It's very, but I do remember that like I think the last Blu-ray that came out before it was like out of print or something. So once Shout announced it, I said I got to get it, so I ordered it right away.
You got to do it.
This is another movie that I do remember being long, but I did not remember it being this long. Babylon.
Oh,
a couple of years ago now.
Babylon.
Yeah, Babylon, and yeah, movie that a lot was very like some people loved it, some people hated it. I was in the love it camp. I
you
think it does a
you
lot of
convinced me.
things.
You convinced
Yeah,
me I need to see it.
yeah. It's not like they're very much inspired by other movies. Like I'm not gonna say it's wholly unique, but in terms of its spectacle and having memorable moments and scenes, um, very good. Very
It's a movie about making movies, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, not specifically like any one movie or anything, but
But
about
just the
old
business
Hollywood.
of film. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This one, I believe, only the extended cut counts. Yes, so I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm just gonna say the name of the movie, show it, and move on. I'm not even gonna say any more because technically this doesn't count. Only the extended cut does. The Tree of Life, Terrence Malick's The Tree of Life. Only the extended cut counts. The other one is only 139 minutes, so that's all I'm gonna say about it.
You're acting like people have tomatoes at the ready to throw at you.
I just want people to be aware, like it's, the theatrical is not that long. Movie that has been talked about very much recently by lots of people, including me, and I've been dying to revisit this. Magnolia.
Ooh, yeah.
I seriously love Magnolia so much. Um, could make the argument that it's my favorite PTA movie. I don't know if I'd. It's like choosing your favorite child. It's
Yeah.
hard to say. But in terms of moments and it's certainly emotionally, like there are moments that really get me, like the uh Tom Cruise, Philip Seymour Hoffman, is it Jason Robards?
Mhm.
That plot line is just incredible. Uh
The whole movie, the editing of that movie is like a magic trick.
mhm.
Like it's like big brain kind of editing where it's like, wow, you made that all line up. Wow, like that is quite a production. Yeah, utmost respect for PTA and Magnolia in particular. I think there's a quote floating around out there from him saying something along the lines of, "I don't know if I'll do something better than that." I could be wrong on that, but I seem to remember reading that somewhere.
Yeah, I do remember that. I don't know when he said that though. I think it might have been
Yeah,
like one movie later or something. So
I
he
mean
might.
he's great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's like unfair good, where it's just like, dang, this guy is born for this.
He can't miss. He just can't miss.
His next one's out soon, right?
Yeah, yeah, like a month away.
I think I saw the trailer with weapons. So I had Kyle, I had my buddy Orion, I had my fiance with me, and I think Kyle and I just looked at each other and were like, "Yeah, it's gonna be great, right?" I was like, "Yeah."
it does look very good. We'll see. Licorice Pizza I liked but didn't love. So
Kyle sold me on it. I was
yeah,
like, "John Peters is in it." Okay.
I need to give it another poke probably. But here's a movie that I haven't seen, so I don't really have much to say. But I think it is an inspiration on PTA. I have Shortcuts, the Robert Altman. It is Altman, correct? Yeah, Robert Altman film.
Oh,
Another huge cast movie. 3+ hours.
wow.
Criterion release.
Very nice.
This one, I don't know if the theatrical cut is 3+ hours. I don't think it is, but this one is only the director's cut, so I'm going to count it. I have Watchmen, the director's
Oh,
cut of Watchmen. Um, and of course, we don't want the Snyder Bros coming at us, so we love Zack Snyder. We picked two of his movies. He's truly one of the greats. Um, I would probably say I need to revisit it. It's been a long time, very long time. But I would say Watchmen might be my favorite Snyder movie, Zack Snyder movie. I
uh,
do really like it. I know some people, some comic purists take issue with it.
mhm.
But I saw the movie before reading the graphic novel and really just enjoyed it. So I have doing it in reverse order, I think helped me like the movie more.
Yeah, I read the comic before the movie came out, and I can vouch for the movie. I think it's a fine piece of entertainment. It misses the plot a little bit, like in some cases, literally, but I think it's a very fine piece of filmmaking, and there's a lot to like there.
Hmm.
If you can distance your association with the two different presentations of the story, I think there's a lot to like there. Curious, Brad, is does that include the Tales of the Black Freighter, or is that just the director's cut? Because I think I actually have the director's cut. I don't have the Tales of the Black Freighter cut though.
I think it's just the director's cut. There is a special features disc, but I don't
Uh-huh.
see any indication that there's another cut of the movie.
Do you know what I'm referencing there?
Not at all.
Okay. Okay. So in the
I
original,
was trying to pretend like I knew what I was talking about.
that's I'm glad I asked that. So in the original comic, there's a every issue, every chapter concludes with some form of like in-universe document of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also these intrusions of there's a teenager reading a comic book, like an EC Comics style comic called Tales of the Black Freighter, that has these like asides running parallel to the whole story. And I guess they did like a motion comic version of just that.
Okay.
And they released it on DVD and Blu-ray separate from the movie. And I know there have been subsequent releases of Zack Snyder's Watchmen that integrate that the footage of that motion comic into the feature film to basically like try to represent the pacing and the structure of the comic as close as possible.
Yeah.
I've never watched it myself, but I did think it was really cute that they actually went to the trouble to do that.
Yeah, I would be interested to check that out. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, maybe Santino's seen it. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'm guessing Santino watches a lot of those direct to video DC animated movies and stuff.
Yeah, and especially because I have read the graphic novel. It's been a long time, so I
Yeah,
probably wouldn't
yeah.
get anything out of it. But I have read the graphic novel, so maybe I would, be able to pick something out of that. Also, when I saw it the first time, Watchmen, I was under the Roger Ebert spell, like we all were. He gave it 4 stars, so might have helped bump it up a little bit. I have a Criterion here, another movie I haven't seen, unfortunately, but I do need to cross it off the bucket list. Barry Lyndon. This one is just the Blu-ray. It did recently get a 4K, but this movie have you seen like how this is like the new cool movie that people are loving on social media?
Really?
Oh yeah.
Huh.
There was a like I don't know, you call it like a fan edit, like a hype video, like a 2-minute hype video just featuring scenes from this movie put over some song. I can't remember what the song was. Like some recent song. And I just maybe it's just my algorithm, but I saw that over and over and over and over again. People were sharing the shit out of that video. We have the Deer Hunter. Deer Hunter.
Yeah, that's a long one.
Which was the first Shout Select 4K, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, definitely a long one. Another one that kind of tells a very long journey. You get the pre, during, and post Vietnam stuff.
Yeah,
and yeah, I think it's pretty
that's
great.
one I need to rewatch. I remember my dad talked about that one. My dad's still alive, by the way. Vietnam vet, still alive. I feel like I'm always talking about him in the past tense, but just so everybody's clear, still around. He talked about that one a lot, and something that he appreciated about was that, to use his own words, they weren't shown in country until quite a decent amount into the movie. Like we see these characters for quite a while before they go over to Vietnam.
It's very long, and I wouldn't say that's a criticism of it I have at all, but on a first watch, not knowing that, it was kind of like, whoa, what are we doing here? We spend a lot of time in the woods. But no, very, very, really great movie, very powerful.
Yeah, Michael Cimino, right?
Yeah. Is that,
I would like to watch.
Yeah.
Is it Heaven's Gate? Is that the cult or the movie or both?
I think it's both.
I think it's both. I would really love to see Heaven's Gate someday. Not the cult, the movie, because of the story behind it, where it's like it was apparently like the biggest flop ever when it happened, and he was, I think, coming off of Deer Hunter.
Yeah, it sort of killed the director, auteur focused.
Yeah,
there's
so much history wrapped up in it. It's like Ishtar, but interesting.
that?
For that reason, I would love to watch it someday. It is in the Criterion Collection, though, so
Oh, it is. Yeah, you're right.
maybe it's not a bad movie. I just know its reputation for having destroyed his career.
I got to check this out. I guess I didn't know this had a Criterion release.
It's been looking me square in the face every time I go to Scarecrow Video here in Seattle because they have a whole wall. Brad, they have a whole wall of Criterion titles for sale, facing outwards because they know their audience.
Yeah,
like all the titles are facing front, and the cover. I know the cover art, like the back of my hand. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it.
Yeah,
someday. I'll blind buy it. I'll watch it, and I'll be like, that fucking sucked. And then I'll watch all the making of stuff, and I'll be enthralled.
Yeah, that might be my next in my next Criterion order. It might happen.
Okay.
Next one, full disclosure, I do believe the director is a shitheel. So no endorsement there, but I do remember seeing the movie and loving it when I first saw it. I have Blue is the Warmest Color, which is a 3-hour romance movie. Yeah, at the time I loved it. I have not watched it in quite a long time. I know it has kind of a rocky reputation because of the director now, but I remember it being very powerful and emotionally moving when I saw it back in the day. And I just remember how cool I was going to see a 3-hour French romance movie in college. I just said, all these mouth breathers, no one else is going to go see this thing. I'm cultured.
Yep. Tobey Maguire and Leonardo DiCaprio rolled up and they're like, yo, join the party, Brad. You're one of us.
Exactly. Next up, David Lynch's Inland Empire.
Oh.
Love David Lynch, 3-hour film here. And not my favorite of his. Quite possibly his hardest to unlock kind of thing, where felt like for the first 90 minutes, I was like, okay, I got it. I know what's happening here. I gotcha. And then it just really goes full on Lynchian, off the cliff crazy. And in the last half hour, I still, liked it, but I was like, not sure if I knew really what was happening there at the end. But yeah, it is still a really awesome movie. I mean, if you're a Lynch fan like I am, it's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, it's essential. You have to have it.
Gotta have it. We have Oppenheimer.
Oh,
Christy Nolan's Oppenheimer. Yeah, everybody's talked about that one recently. And this one, now I grabbed this one because on the app it did say it was 180 minutes. Blu-ray case is saying 179. But I'll mention it in the hopes that it'll get my last ding for you, my last match. I'm gonna guess it's not going to though, but maybe
we shall see.
I have The Wolf of Wall Street.
No.
So
close.
Yeah, but that one doesn't even count because apparently it's only 179 minutes, so it's not long.
It's not. You hear that, folks? 179 minutes, not long.
Yeah,
absolutely. It is not thick nor meaty.
No. It's short. I remember seeing it. I saw it twice in theaters. Not long at all.
I could do that standing on my head.
Yeah.
All right. So that was all of Brad's speed round picks. So again, feel free to intrude any way you like, Brad. It's the rowdy speed round. So shout it out, whatever feelings you got. So now I'm just going to run through all of my picks here. And excuse me, I'm going to have to read the run times as I go through. Actually, it's not important. These are all like 150 plus. Like, so some of these are going to be extremely long. Some of these are going to be not at all long by Brad's standards. So this one's 163 minutes, not at all long, according to Brad. Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, Part 1. There will never be a Part 2. But it's 163 minutes long, so it's quite long. And this one, oh my god, don't put that shade of blue on the back of a black box. That is hard to read. Big Jim's The Abyss on 4K, which I want to say this is like the least controversial Big Jim. That would be James Cameron. It's so much fun to call him Big Jim. And Jimmy C or Big Jim. Any nickname for James Cameron works for me, but Big Jim, I think this is the least controversial 4K of his in recent days. That or Titanic is probably the least.
Yeah.
Titanic is like just good. Like
When
people
they
just
did that,
like that one.
the three, it was that, True Lies, and Aliens, right?
Yeah,
That
that
was,
was the wave.
yeah. I think it was True Lies got the most flack, then Aliens, then The Abyss. So
Yeah, and in the case of True Lies, Justified. That is a hideous disc. It's comical actually. Like there's some shots of Tom Arnold in there that are just like nightmare fuel. It does look like AI slop.
yeah,
It looks like Will Smith eating spaghetti. But Aliens, I can stomach that disc okay. Like I can watch that 4K and not feel disgusted. And same with The Abyss. I watched this and it was fine for me. Like it didn't bother me very much. There's a lot of people out there that would probably say I'm full of shit, that I'm crazy, that how can you not see that? To me, this disc looks okay. Like you can tell that there's some stuff going on, but it's okay by me. Anyway, this one is 171 minutes for the director's cut, so not long, according to Brad.
not at
Um,
all.
not at all. And Apocalypse Now, the final cut. So we talked about Coppola before. This is actually long, Brad. This is an actual long movie, according to Brad. The final cut. This box is very nice, and that includes, I think, every cut of the movie that exists. So Redux is in here, as well as a new final cut that was issued for this box, and also Hearts of Darkness, the documentary made by, I believe, Francis Ford Coppola's wife, is also included in here, which is, I think I've watched that documentary more than I've watched this movie. It's a great documentary. This is 183 minutes long and a very good 4K on top of that. We had mentioned Big Jim, so let's mention Big Jim some more. We got Avida, in the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Avida is I forget how long this guy is.
It's got to be close to 3 hours, right?
It's close to 3 hours, 162 minutes, but the extended cut adds 16 minutes, so this is 3 hours plus.
I tell you, in theater, it felt like 4 hours the first time I saw it. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I
rough.
mean, Avatar is not great. It's a, it's a Blu-ray benchmark kind of movie at the
Yeah.
time anyway. And Avatar 2, Avatar 2, the way of water is I think this is 192 minutes. Yeah, this is over 3 hours. So Big Jim is pushing it. He's pushing it real hard.
He earned it with the sequel, though. I prefer the sequel.
I do actually. I do too.
Yeah.
I do like Way of Water a little bit better. And what do we have here? This is actually long. Avengers Endgame, 181 minutes.
Yep.
So it's a legitimate long movie. And I have here a pair of Hong Kong movies, which are not actually long, according to Brad. This is the Battle at Lake Changjin complete box set. So this is two movies about a historical, like an actual historical conflict during the Korean War, I believe. China's side of the Korean War, so fighting the Americans. So this is a movie that depicts the Chinese armed forces doing battle with the Americans in 1950, I want to say. These were the biggest box office movies in China at the time of their release. And the first one is 176 minutes, not long. Second one is 150 minutes. And I don't actually know who directed this. I want to say Dante Lam directed these, whose movies I own so many of his movies. Very prolific, very skillful blockbuster filmmaker from Hong Kong. But if you look these movies up, I think there's like 3 or 4 different directors attached to it because it was such a massive production for China. Anyway, the first one is 4 minutes shy of 3 hours. Another not long movie by Brad standards, Ridley Scott's Gladiator, 171 minutes for the director's cut. And then just to, oh wait, I have a few more here. Sorry, it goes on.
No, keep it coming, dude.
We keep it coming. What do we have here? This one is relatively short, 164 minutes. Blade Runner 2049. Denis Villeneuve's Blade Runner 2049. And this one is also not long. 2 hours 40 minutes for Jurassic World Dominion. This movie sucks my asshole. Brad, thoughts on Jurassic World Dominion, real quick? Any?
Well, I think it is bad, but I actually think I did prefer it over the newest one, to be totally honest. That one, even though it was bad, it still had a few memorable sequences that I liked. I liked the sequence in the cave. I liked where she is under the water or whatever, and
The
the thing
water was
is
cool.
stalking her. So that one had some fun sequences, even though like everything surrounding it was garbage. The newest one I just thought was just so mid across the board that it didn't have any peaks and valleys.
I liked the Jaws homage, like, but I'm a sucker for aquatic action of any sort, really.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a little tepid, honestly, and it ends very poorly. Like that
Yeah.
whole final act was like, we needed to re-storyboard this. We needed to. There needs some punctuation here because it has studio notes written all over it, where it's like, that's how you ended that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
really? Okay. It's like, go out with a whimper. Cool. Good for you. That's what audiences like, right? They like their wrestling matches to end in DQ. They don't like to see a finishing move. Who
Yeah.
cares about finishers? Who cares about steel chairs? No, just DQ. They just walk off. Anyway, uh actually long, Brad. Schindler's List. 3 hours and 16 minutes.
Wow.
Excellent film. Kyle, my regular co-host on Catching Up on Cinema, actually gifted this to me. Basically, he was like, "It's a sin that you haven't seen this." He'd pulled a Seinfeld. He was like, "What? You were making out during Schindler's List?" In my case, I wasn't making out. I just hadn't seen it before, and after I watched it, I was like, "I probably should have seen that a long time ago." That's a really excellent film.
That's another one I would not have expected to be that long.
I mean, it has a quality to it that it didn't feel long when I was watching it. I knew it was long, but yeah, when I was watching it, it didn't feel like a chore at all. It didn't feel like I was robbed of a whole afternoon or something. Okay, so and just to finish things out, I did mention these guys before. I have a lot of creator VC documentaries because, like I said, they do seem to just do stuff that I'm interested in. They come from my wallet. They come from my money. In Search of Tomorrow, the definitive 80s sci fi documentary. This is about 80s sci fi cinema. It's very good. 300 minutes long. Very long. In Search of the Last Action Heroes. This is directed by Oliver Harper, who is a prolific YouTuber. And this was one of his first features, I think. But this is a documentary directed by him, and I believe when he does film work outside of YouTube, he's primarily an editor. I want to say he also edited this. He's since also done a Street Fighter 2 documentary, which I own. I actually don't know the runtime on that one. I probably should have grabbed it before we started. This is only 141 minutes. I'm only holding it up because it's part of that same kind of like ecosystem, I believe. And then Brad mentioned this earlier, but this is the full In Search of Darkness trilogy. Yes, very handsome. And there's a video store. So there's 3 different chapters in here: part 1, 2, and 3. And the subtitle is the journey, the journey, and the final journey into 80s horror. So each of these covers a few years of the 1980s of horror cinema, leading up until 1989. And in addition to that, I also got a poster for, I think, each of those. And there's also something that I forget if I sent it to you, but there's also a VHS lifetime member like card.
I think I got that too. Yeah, I think you
Yeah,
got
I
that.
think
I
I
think that
gave
was
that to you
included.
also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's a lovely box set. I've watched all those documentaries. I've actually watched all 3 of those, and they're such fun. Like they're not the most like amazing resource for information because we're very far removed from the 1980s at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the Friday the 13th documentary, Crystal Lake Memories, where it was like 2011. Like we still had access to a lot of people. We weren't that far removed from a lot of that stuff. By the time those started get by the time those started getting rolling, I think we lost a lot of people, and also they just probably didn't have as many resources. So it's not as detailed and comprehensive, but it's so much fun. Like it's a lot of fun to reminisce with. Like
Yeah.
it's basically, I don't know if you watched these before, Brad, but the I Love the Decade insert here show
Mm-hmm.
on was it VH1 or I
I
think it
think it
was
was
VH1.
VH1. Yeah.
I watched the shit out of that back in the day. Like the ever loving shit out of that. It's the same concept, but more specifically focused on horror movies.
Yeah.
And then just to finish things out, I believe the next installment is probably due out within the next year or two. In Search of Darkness, 1990 to 1994, a journey into iconic 90s horror. So you'll see here, Pennywise the Clown is most certainly featured on there because the TV movie was, of course, from 1990. I do see Evil Ash on there from Army of Darkness. I do see Kathy Bates from Misery. I do see the Candyman. I do see the Crypt Keeper from Tales from the Crypt and the Spider Gremlin Mohawk from Gremlins 2, among others. So you get all of that in this, and then the next installment will probably have stuff like Scream and all the new metal horror that we got in like the 1998, 1999 years.
Yeah.
Very much looking forward to that.
Is the next one going to cover 95 through 99? You think? Is that?
I would imagine, like
Yeah.
the 80s. I want to say was a more like a more voluminous decade for horror movies. There was a lot of good stuff in the 90s, but I want to say there was just less of it. Maybe
Yeah.
like it was
There
more concentrated.
there's definitely a dip in the honestly, I would say kind of, you know, early 90s up until Scream basically. I mean there is some good stuff there, but yeah, not a ton. And then the post Scream stuff is interesting cuz I am fascinated by all the knockoffs that came after it. That interests me a lot. So that
Like
could be cool.
yeah, I mean, I mentioned poster art, talking about modern day blockbuster poster art. It's just like a wall of faces. We got an example of that in the Scream days when we had what I Know What You Did Last Summer, and
Mhm.
Phantoms is actually the one that always comes to mind for some reason, imitating that style of poster for Scream, where it's just like a black background and a bunch of young actors like
Yep.
just kind of awkwardly spread out like across the poster.
Mhm.
Yep. Have you seen Phantoms, by the way?
I don't know. I never saw Phantoms.
Nobody has. It's that
Yeah.
it's that weird curiosity where it's like for some reason it stands out to me as like being an important movie from like 1996, 98, around there. But like it's like Mimic, I guess. It's like to me like Mimic was kind of a big deal because it was a creature feature from, a year when I was kind of starting to get to watch those movies without like adult supervision and stuff.
Mhm.
Nobody gives a shit about Mimic.
No.
Nobody gives a shit about Phantoms. So it's like, damn it.
Yep.
It was still real. Deep Rising is one that I hope they cover on the documentary, Brad. Have you seen Deep Rising?
I yes. Let me check. I
For
think
some
so.
reason, that Blu-ray is kind of expensive. I think it's a Kino,
Ooh.
and it has a
Is it
weird cover.
expensive? Because I got it back
Not
here.
not like, oh yeah, that is it. That is it. Is it Kino?
Yes.
I should have bought it at. It was at Al's on the Ave many years ago, and I picked it up several times and never bought it. And then somebody did buy it, and I haven't seen it in the wild since. And I love
Have I
that
seen
movie.
it?
I really do love that movie.
I'm getting this and Deep Star 6 confused.
Oh, don't do that.
No,
Don't do that.
I have
Deep
not
Star Six
seen
is not good. Like
I've
like
I've not seen Deep Rising. I've seen Deep Star 6.
watch Deep Rising. It's great.
I should.
It's fun. Deep Rising is fun. Deep Star Six that's Friday the 13th connection. That's
Yeah.
Sean S. Cunningham.
Yep.
Miguel Ferrer saves that movie. Like Miguel Ferrer is, I mean, he saves anything he's in. Honestly, like you can vouch for that. Like Twin Peaks and stuff. Like he
Oh yeah.
didn't save Twin Peaks, but he's very good in
He's
Twin
great.
Peaks. Yeah, we love Miguel Ferrer, but the rest of that movie sucks. The only thing it really has going for it is like one or two surprise gore moments and the novelty of a spoilers crustacean as its monster. That's not something you see very often. So
Mm-hmm.
that's novel. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Too bad the movie sucks. It was one of the. I mean, speaking of Big Jim, it was the year 1989
Mm.
where America went to the bottom of the ocean and stayed there for like 6 fucking movies because The Abyss was coming out and everybody wanted to cash in. They need to make
Yeah.
a documentary about that, Brad.
I need to watch Deep Rising. I think I'd like it.
I think you would. I mean, it's just fun. Like it's not really scary or anything, but one, you'll have a lot of fun just looking at the people in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jaimin Hansu or Jimin Hansu is in there for like 5 seconds. Kano from Mortal Kombat is in there. The Australian fella who he did like a wet mop commercial. I remember in like the 2000s. And Famke Janssen and the Dutch madam herself, Famke Janssen, and Treat Williams. He's great as always. Wes Studi is in there. Wes Studi's always great.
Oh, I'm getting sold on this.
And what's his face from the Nick Nolte lookalike from Silence of the Lambs? I forget his name. He's in there as well. You like him? You like those movies?
Oh yeah.
That guy, you know that guy. He's from
Yeah,
Boston
yeah.
Public or whatever. That guy with the face.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough out of me. That's enough out of you. So that concludes our thick and meaty discussion. So as always, thank you, Brad, for joining me tonight. This was so much fun.
So it's a good one. It's always good when we can just sort by numbers for the picks. Just nice
When
and
we
easy.
can rely on the numbers.
Yep. Yep. No, I don't have to put any thought into it. Just dun, 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 dun. Even though I did miss like 3 of them, but whatever.
I noticed that was a thing. Like maybe your app is not as reliable as
No,
you thought.
it's there. I scrolled past them too quickly because I was like, okay, TV shows, that's my bad. That is my bad.
Okay, well maybe we'll have to think about TV next time or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Because it is something that we haven't done in a really long time.
No, but to be honest, I haven't added much since.
I mean, everything I've added is Ultraman garbage.
Yeah.
And I don't think you want to hear me ramble about that for 3 hours.
Yeah. Although I will take an excuse to buy. I need to buy more. I should start buying more TV. So.
I mean, any way I can help you blow all of your wedding expense money in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Keep
I
your
will say.
wheels are turning.
I will say. Not. We don't have to go further. If there is a realm of me going digital, it is in television, because I tell you, Mad Men the complete series for $15 digitally. That's just from an economic standpoint. That is hard to turn down.
That's a lot of content for
Yeah.
$15. It's a lot of content. I haven't done the digital thing. Really, the only digital download movies I own are maybe one or two. That like the asking price for like buying instead of renting was just so close that it was like why not? Other than that, like I think you and Kyle have maybe gifted me some or something along the way. But beyond that, it's not something I've gotten on board with yet.
At one point, according to Cheap Charts, Mad Men the complete series was $9.99. Every episode, like that is, at that point, I mean, that's.
I wonder if that's the new frontier. Like if we're gonna, you know how like the market for physical goods and is basically like a stock market or something,
Mm-hmm.
where like demand and availability does dictate quite a lot. Wonder if we're gonna get that with like digital downloads, because we kind of see that like a little bit with like the Steam store and stuff, where like they have these like radical sales and then like their pricing methodologies are somehow algorithmically based. I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
But that'd be funny to like be keeping tabs on like a TV series you want to get and like seeing the price shift from day to day.
That is literally what Cheap Charts is. That
Oh,
like
oh my! It's the stock ticker for
I
digital downloads.
I wasn't sold on it, but what I can add movies to your wish list, and I did that with all the Ron Howard movies because I'm like, well, I'm not gonna buy, Gung Ho on Blu-ray. Like I don't care, but I'm like, I'll probably have to rent it.
Mhm.
And so you add it to your wish list. Every time there's a drop in price, you get an email, and it's like, oh shit, I can buy Gung Ho for $4.99. Might as well, right?
You make it sound like that's a deal.
Well, it is. If I'm gonna have to pay
Four
for it
ninety nine
anyway.
for a movie you don't want.
I'm gonna have to pay for it anyway. And I am really watching Mad Men. If that drops down to $9.99 again, that is gonna be like Christmas morning because I have been itching to rewatch Mad Men.
Kyle's been trying to sell me on that one forever. Like that is like one of his favorite shows.
Yeah, it is
Like
amazing.
that one, Boardwalk Empire, he's been trying to get me to watch for a long time. Um, the Watchmen show on HBO, apparently he really really liked. And Peacemaker, he was really up on Peacemaker. He actually got me to pull the trigger on that. I haven't
That
watched
was
the
good,
second
yeah.
season yet. But yeah, I remember doing the $9.99 deal with. There was this really shitty PS3 game called Def Jam Icon that had this demo that me and my friends played a lot of. That it's terrible. Very entertaining to watch though. Handled like garbage. Anyway, had this joke where I was like, if Def Jam Icon is in the bargain bin at GameStop or Funko Land or whatever for like sub $9, I will buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Never happened. But I totally would have.
Yeah. Like Weeds, the complete series for $12.99. Do I have any intention to revisit Weeds? No, but for $12.99, of course I'm gonna
Brad,
pop
this
on
is a
that.
slippery slope, man.
It is.
I'm
I
going to
tell you.
strongly urge you not to go down this road.
I was not sold on Cheap Charts until the wish list feature,
Oh
and
no.
that kind of did change the
Are you
game.
addicted to email notifications?
I'm even adding all the movie roulette titles
Oh
to it.
no.
Bullworth for $4.99. Might as well. It doesn't even have a Blu-ray. Might as well buy it for $4.99. Let's go.
So you mean I'm gonna be taking a shit and I'm gonna get like 6 texts from you saying like, "Oh, this is on sale. Check it out. This is on sale. Check it out.
Yeah.
This is on sale. Check it out."
Also,
copy paste, copy paste, copy paste.
I got movies in my wish list that just notably don't have a Blu-ray, like Barbarian, The Empty Man. Those drop in price. Bam, snatching them up because I'm done. I'm done with the streaming. If I'm gonna watch something digitally, I'm doing it through iTunes. It's the best. I mean, I prefer physical, but I over Hulu or whatever crap it's on. No, I'm just buy. I just rather own it and just not have to deal with any crap.
Well said.
So,
by the way, Barbarian, it does sound like there is a pretty decent movement going to try to get that on physical at some point.
I think it's gotta happen. Yeah.
I mean, Zach Kreger has all the clout in the world, and he's publicly stated that, like, oh yeah, I'm all for it. Would love to see it happen.
Yeah, his stock is high right now. They need to get that out ASAP.
I'm sure they will. Like Weapons has just been too big of a phenomenon. Like, take advantage because it will drum up interest for Barbarian retroactively.
Yeah.
Not that there wasn't any to begin with. But anyway, we've been rambling about whatever the fuck for a while. So I guess it's time to wrap it up. So again, thank you as always, Brad. This is great fun. Look forward to next time. Although next time you're going to be busy because it's the month of September and you got some real life shit going on. So I'll probably have somebody sit in for you.
Yes, I will be getting married next month, so I respectfully asked to take the month off. Trevor did kind of throw a fit. He started breaking things, but then I said, "Hey, don't worry, we won't miss an episode. We'll have a substitute guest. We'll have somebody come in as a sub for me."
Yeah.
So I think that'll because I said if I got to be here, we're not missing a month. We're not missing a month. I might miss a month, but this show will not. So. I think we got it lined up, so it'll be good.
Yeah, so you'll be texting me from the wedding, being like, "Where's the episode?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't go live? What's the deal?" It's
Yeah.
like,
Hopefully you do it at a time where I'm actually not busy, so I can like watch.
I'll
That'll
do
be
it during the wedding.
yeah.
Get a
Yeah.
notification on your phone. Your pocket will be vibrating at the altar.
Saturday afternoon live stream.
Yeah, catching up on cinemas live, and you're not on it.
Yeah.
You fuck. That's what the stream's gonna be called. Fuck, Brad.
Go for it. Hey,
Left me hanging.
you take the reins. It's all yours.
All right. Well, before I cut you loose, Brad, would you care to let our listeners and hopefully viewers know where they can find you and your amazing podcast?
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Thank you. It is the Cinema Speak podcast. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify. You can find us there. Subscribe, like, rate, review, all that crap. We're on Twitter at the Cinema Speak, Instagram Cinema Speak podcast, on YouTube as Cinema Speak, and on the web at cinemaspeak.libsyn.com. And I will say, just as a plug, tomorrow's episode coming out does feature everybody's favorite Trevor. Was on this week's episode of Cinema Speak. We reviewed the classic, the future classic, Dangerous Animals with Jai Courtney. So huge episode there.
Yeah, cinematic icon, Jai Courtney.
Yeah.
Truly. Thanks for that. So as for myself, I'm not even going to bother giving myself a single. I've kind of been out of the podcasting game when it comes to like regular posting and stuff. So not a whole lot of new content coming out as of late, aside from this monthly live stream. Maybe I'll look into doing some other live streams though. I was flirting with the idea of maybe doing some other kind of stuff.
Ooh, I like it.
Maybe, who knows? But my show, my podcast, its back catalog is hundreds of episodes deep. It's called Catching Up on Cinema. You can find us on pretty much every podcasting platform you can imagine. A decent amount of our catalog is also on YouTube in the form of VODs and stuff. I am on the social medias in the form of the Twitter at Catching Cinema, as well as the Instagram at Catching Up on Cinema. So feel free to hit me up at either of those. Can't guarantee I'll respond or not, but hey, I'm out there. But yeah, that being said, thank you so much for listening and hopefully watching, and